Keeler is no longer on the air. He was fired yesterday over a contract.
Father O'Shaughnessy?
Yes.
Ray Paulwell in Lynchburg, Virginia. How are you?
Good morning. Go to hell!
Free your mind.
I gotta tell you, I hope you are all stocked up on candy.
Why? What's going on this week?
Because it is obviously Halloween. But the thing to keep in mind is, what is the, do you have your weather app right in front of you? What's Ray Stajic saying for Thursday? I think almost 80 degrees.
It's going to be close.
It is going to be
in the mid to upper 70s.
It is going to be mild on Thursday. And you know what happens when the weather's nice?
The candy is a-flying.
Those kids who are wusses and don't come out in the cold weather, they're going to come out.
I don't know. I think that the number of trick-or-treaters has been down all across the country in recent years.
Well, maybe that's the case. I don't know anything about that, but I would tell you, I think with us, we've had some really bad weather. That one, it was a couple of years ago, it was just pouring rain during Halloween trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is expect a larger crowd. I just think with this weather, expect a larger crowd.
I did a trick-or-treating trunk event at a local dealership for the radio station on Saturday.
You did?
For an appearance with somebody that works here.
Okay. Did you have to dress up?
No, I
Okay.
did not.
You
But
just signed autographs.
there was a lot of little kids.
A lot of kids. This is the big thing now,
There's
right?
been a lot of events
Yeah.
that are prior to Halloween. Like I was driving through the city of Utica. I saw a bunch of kids in costumes, and they're doing more controlled events now than the trick-or-treating. I'm
I'm glad to see that inflation is at a peak. People cannot afford food. They can't afford to heat their home.
Yeah,
But man, can they afford giant Frankensteins in front of their house that blow up and drift away when it gets windy. Man, there are some enormous ones this year. Like skeletons that are...
The big giant skeleton is the
Yeah.
one for me. That's what
Wow.
I've seen.
That's a biggie. Okay, can we... so there was a singer singing the national anthem over the weekend at a presidential debate for third-party candidates. This was Wednesday night when her singing went off the rails. She dropped the F-bomb. Did you see that?
No, and there was a lone debate. It was just
I guess. I didn't know
candidate.
anything about this debate. For some reason, she thought she could have a redo, but quickly learned from people off camera that you're live. There's no redo here. People applauded, and away she went. I didn't even know there was such a third-party debate. I think I would have watched this. Because you always
debating with herself.
You always have a lot of candidates that you've never heard of running for president. Sometimes the weirdest named parties, but
wasn't there a guy?
There's like usually around 18 people that are running. They're not usually on everybody's ballots.
Who was the guy that he's running? He was running for president, but he changed his name. I think we had him on the air.
him on the air, right?
I forget what I'm talking about now.
What did he change his name to? I forgot. It was Bobby Lower Taxes or something. I forgot.
Yeah, it
what
was
he said.
something less stupid like
Anyway,
that.
I'll play that audio coming up in a little bit. Over the weekend, boy, the Bills had a wonderful outing yesterday. And you know what? I knew they were going to do this. On the pregame show on Fox, they kept talking about the fact that Josh Allen, and I didn't even realize that. Do you know Josh Allen had not thrown an interception?
He had not.
All season long.
They jinxed them.
I said, I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh, great, you just jinxed him.
Sorry.
And then they said, well, this can't be as if they heard me. This is not like a jinx if somebody's like throwing a no-hitter. It's different. This is process for Josh Allen.
They did the same thing, I think,
And
with
boom.
Clay Holmes over the or
And
something.
who
with
was
the
pitching Friday night for the Yankees?
Garrett
Was it-
Cole. He pitched a beautiful game.
Right.
7
80,
innings.
80 some odd pitches.
And then you take him out.
And
Take him
why
out. Yeah,
I'm-
just why not?
I have had to sit here and listen all year long to you and Davey whine about Boone all year long.
Yep, and you know why
there
now.
I was yelling at the TV like, what are you doing bringing in a pitcher who hasn't pitched in over a month?
You
yeah.
agree?
Yeah. It was Aaron Boone is the reason. That
And
we
why would you
ultimately-
disrupt that amazing? I mean, he had control of the Dodgers, and it was under 100 pitches. It was under 90 pitches.
I'm going to say this right now. I'll
He
always admit when I'm wrong.
might lose his if the Yankees go on to lose that moment, that Friday night game, he may lose his job over.
I'll be the
Davey
first.
says
to,
no.
I'll be the first to always admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about Garrett Cole. Although he had some disappointing outings during the regular season, he pitched a phenomenal game. Set us up perfectly to go up 1-0 and at least take one game in Los Angeles.
Oh, that would have been a big
Aaron-
that could have changed the. Well, listen, a lot can happen here.
I know,
I mean, the
but-
Yankees could sweep at home. It's just these Dodgers are.
They've got 9 batters. They've got
Yeah.
9 people in the lineup that are a threat, that are a serious threat, that are that can hit a bomb or a blast triple double into the corner.
And they have
it's
a
just
very
unbelievable.
They have a very strong bullpen, so that makes it difficult. I mean they're the Yankees were, and they had come back and they had taken the lead. I thought this game was over, and you just had that's the problem with home field advantage is you get that bottom of the ninth.
Well, and again, just back to Boone's stupid, moronic, awful decision making and overcoaching. You walk Mookie Betts, who was 0 for 3, and Freddie Freeman hit a triple. Like, are you stupid? It's not even the Nestor Cortez thing, right? I mean, Tim Hill, and again, Tim Hill came in game 2 and pitched a heck of a game. in
Cortez
relief.
could have. He could have. Listen, he could have.
mind-boggling.
He could have pitched. It was a mistake. That pitch was a mistake. It was right out.
Right down the middle.
And he just took advantage of it.
Oh my gosh!
But anything could have happened. It could have worked. It could have worked, and everything would have been different. But oh boy,
So that president that we had on is literally anybody else.
literally anybody else.
That's right.
Yeah, where did you find that, Davey?
I did a Google search for him. It says he's a North Texas man.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, it does feel that way. Kind of feels that way, doesn't it? Literally anybody. He even changed his name. Literally anybody
That's
else.
his name.
But real quick to get back to the Bills, they look good yesterday.
Bills
the
look good.
running game was decent.
Even the interception was a mistake. It was a slip. The receiver slipped, but he did not. He didn't hang his head over that. He just kept plowing forward. The Bills looked really good.
One of my diehard
And boy, I got to tell you, the fact that the running game has come together has changed everything
James Cook
for
is a
Buffalo.
monster. He's just a literal monster.
Yeah.
One of my friends on Facebook, who's a diehard Bills fan, just like me and you, Bill, says, I think the AFC East is going to be wrapped up by Week 12 with the
Wow.
Bills winning.
And Aaron Rodgers. Oh, my God. I mean, I know, Richard, you're out there, and Richard was telling me how bad the Bills were and how good the Jets were going to be. Richard, I don't mean to be looking back, but holy moly. I mean, they could still turn it around,
Listen,
I guess.
Rodgers started to slip in his last couple of years at Green Bay. I mean, he's just not good.
I mean, he had some.
He brought all the bad players with him over to the Jets.
He had some really good passes, but man, he just couldn't put it together. Couldn't finish it off.
And here's the craziest thing about it all, right? And every week, typical Aaron Rodgers diva, everybody's fault but me. First it was Saleh, they fire him. Then it was, we need more help. Let's go and get Devontae Adams. Oh, and now they're 0-2 since Devontae Adams came on. And really, it's just ultimately the Jets just aren't a really good organization. They're just really not a good team. And they just got to face facts.
And then Miami loses. Wow. Yeah, it's really quite crazy.
Somebody said, I was listening to one commentator speaking about the Bills and their potential early claiming of the division. And they said, Miami lost, the Jets lost, and the only reason the Patriots won is because they played the Jets.
So, can we talk a little bit about? Are we done with all of this?
Yeah, I think Green Bay won, so that's good.
You had to be happy. Can we talk a little bit about Katie Aiello? Just a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
She's like going after me hard, huh?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
That? We're a bunch of failures, Bill.
So what is?
At least that's what the comments were to her. It's funny. She'll go on Instagram, but she won't ever actually come in and
so what did she?
speak
What
about
did
her.
she? What did she say?
I didn't listen to the whole thing because I really can't stomach anything she says or does. To be honest with you, but
there are comments too. Like even Brett Truitt got in on it.
Yeah, I had seen an Instagram post that she had done on her story or whatever it is, essentially playing your song. And then there was a bunch of comments.
I appreciate her playing the song.
And she said, could someone give a message to WIBX? How about you be an adult and call in if you're going to be a representative of the city?
Okay. Well, what did she say?
Well, I don't know. It's an Instagram thing, so I'd have to play it.
Okay.
This is Rich.
She does.
The comment of the post, okay? So, when you put an Instagram post, you can put some text to it. Could someone give a message to WIBX News? If they're short on city matters that need addressing, I'd be happy to send a list. Well, how about you come on, Katie, and defend your positions on
I
things?
understand, but this all started. Here's the problem here. This all started with Katie lying to the city, lying to the people, lying to everybody. That's where it all came from. I mean, none of this would even be happening if she wasn't lying, if she didn't lie.
Well, and then she's also so upset and hurt over the fact that we were critical of the alley. Well, sorry.
Listen, I also want, she said that I am the smallest man in the world. And I was searching, I did some research on it, and I found out that I'm really not. It was hard to find, but I dug deep. And it turns out I'm small, there's no doubt. But I'm not the smallest man in the world. There are many who are well below 5'5", 5 feet tall. There's even a guy who's 3'11".
Well, you have to factor in little people.
Little people, yes.
They're
right.
still men or women.
Yeah.
Bill Keeler, good morning. It's the smallest man in the world.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I had some kids sing for me.
Your early trick-or-treaters.
They'll be at my house on Thursday night looking for chocolate. It's a full-size chocolate bar.
Bill Keeler, good morning. It's the smallest man in the world.
Oh, you gotta get some better singers.
I think those kids have been drinking, to be honest with you.
Who gave those kids booze?
Oh, boy. We'll speak with Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw this morning. We're going to talk to all of them this week as we are in the final. Hard to believe you can early vote. Andrew, Davey, you voted. You've early voted already, right?
Yes, I did, Bill. I went yesterday to the South Rome Senior Center.
How were the lines? I heard there were lines on Saturday.
There was no lines, just
no lines,
like 5
waiting.
people when I got there yesterday morning. I did it.
John Mannion, Senator John Mannion is on. He's running against Brandon Williams. We spoke with Brandon Williams on Friday. Tanya J. Powers later on. We'll speak with Dr. Bill Hennessy, who's an expert on health transparency. And the United States ranks worst in the world for health care despite spending trillions. How is that possible that we could rank worst in the world? That's just shocking to me. I'm getting all the messages in now. We're causing trouble. Let's see. This is Mike. I was thinking about stopping by your house on Halloween dressed as a naked man. That'd be perfect. Yeah. Well, it's a small world after all. Must be your world, being the smallest man in the world. Okay. We'll speak with Ryan Schmelz coming up in a few minutes. The latest on the Israeli war, the Israel-Hamas war, airstrikes over the weekend. That continued. And, of course, their very precise attack on on Iran was really downplayed by the Iranians, which is probably good, right? We don't want to see this escalate into anything bigger than what it already is. And all of a sudden, we're in the middle of it all. I told you about the woman singing the national anthem. This was the other night. Her name is Loomis. Singer named Loomis is now viral after dropping the F-bomb. Here we go with her.
Who's brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare. Can I go back? Can I go back, please?
And then you hear the guy.
I'm so nervous.
You hear the guy in the background saying, "No, you're live on."
That our flag was still there. Whoa, say.
She dropped it twice. The F-bomb.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The good news is no one knew this debate was going on.
Yes, thank
I don't
goodness.
know what channel it was on, but I'm not sure anybody was really paying much attention to it.
Oh, God.
And the home of the brave.
We're just going to pretend you didn't drop the F-bomb. Wow.
Moving on.
How do you start singing something like this at an event like this and not know that you're live?
Yeah,
Right?
you would
And
think that
wouldn't
that
there
would
be
have been
somebody
very
that
clear to you.
Wouldn't there be somebody who would come up and say, "Hey, by the way, just letting you know, you're live on TV. This is live." And but no, apparently no one told her. Ryan Schmelz on the line right now. Ryan, did you know there was a debate the other night for third-party candidates running for president of the United States? I had no clue.
I did just because of that video.
Okay,
Literally,
just because of the
only
video.
reason that's the only reason I knew.
That is,
I knew it was coming at some point. I was maybe not completely aware of when they were going to have it.
Yeah.
They do it every election cycle,
yes, yeah.
but that was the most newsworthy thing that came out of it. The third party candidates maybe aren't launching the same campaigns that they launched in last couple years,
Yes,
especially with
yes.
Robert Kennedy Jr. getting out.
Right.
Libertarians don't have a high profile candidate like Gary Johnson. Jill Stein, she's been around the block for a little bit, and we have seen Democrats launch some attack ads against her, but that's about it.
I wonder if the Texas candidate, I think he's still in it, right? I wonder if he was there. Literally anyone else. He changed his name to, if you remember him. Real candidate, really changed his name. Okay, let's talk about the latest in the Israel-Hamas war. What do we know going into this week? Is there any hope for a ceasefire?
Well, so based off what Fox is reporting, there was a person familiar with ceasefire talks who said that the head of Mossad, David Barana, and the CIA director, Bill Burns, will meet with the Qatari Prime Minister, as well as some other top officials in Doha. They met actually yesterday. We don't really have a readout that I've seen from the talks just yet, but the big thing they were going to discuss was a short-term ceasefire in Gaza that would last probably less than a month.
There should be no ceasefire without, I hate to be this person to repeat what we've already heard, without all the hostages coming home.
Yeah.
The problem is, how many of these hostages are still alive?
Yeah, we don't know. That's the terrifying thing. We haven't gotten many updates on their whereabouts or what their condition is. And then, of course, this comes as just a couple weeks ago, we saw a bunch of them get executed. And you saw the family of Hirsch Poland killed after his parents made a pretty emotional plea at the DNC and in front of some other high-profile events.
Yep.
So, this is, it's horrible that we're seeing this happen yet again.
And then it seems that the attack on Iran was very, very precise and calculated.
Yeah, so from what we understand, Tehran says they will use all available tools to respond to Israel's weekend attack. what we understand is that they were targeting military targets in Iran, but there also was an airstrike that hit a school and resulted in some pretty hefty civilian casualties as well. So there's been a number of strikes that happened over the weekend. This one in Iran is certainly one that could lead to further retaliation from Tehran, but we'll have to wait and see what they do.
All right, and hard to believe, Ryan. Here we are in the final week leading up to Election Day.
Election Day, yeah, it's a couple high-profile rallies. I haven't really gotten a chance to catch up on the Madison Square Garden rally from yesterday, but certainly it was a spectacle, as you would expect with a major Trump rally like this. And both candidates are kind of doing this. They did their, campaigning maybe not in a spot that is relevant to their success on Election Day. Trump in New York, Harris in D.C., but it was kind of like the home stretch speech, kind of rallying up the troops for one last week and making that final campaign push.
One of the things that did happen last night is there was a comedian warming up who's unfortunately taking the limelight, who, comedians tend to be, if you go to a comedy club, you can get some pretty racy things said in a comedy club. The problem is this comedian went after Hispanics and Latinos, and there were some pretty rough things that were said. The Trump campaign is saying that this does not represent Donald Trump's feelings towards Hispanics, but you can imagine Democrats the Harris campaign is trying to take advantage of that.
And certainly they're seizing on this, and this is something that we've come to see with former President Trump, which is, he's been riding, I think, a wave of momentum recently, where there has been a lot of positive polling moving in his direction, where this thing is going down to the wire after Harris was leading for a couple of weeks/months, and now, here's another controversy. So whether or not it's going to hurt him or not, Trump, it's always hard to tell if these controversies hurt or if they help in the end. But certainly this is not true. The fact that he's had to distance himself from this one, I think, is certainly of note.
It is, and you do feel that Harris was making a movement. She was gaining ground after the debate and in through September. But there is a new feeling out there where Trump in some cases, is leading in these polls, and there's even talk where Trump could win the popular vote, which would be shocking.
With Harris potentially winning the Electoral College, so it could be a reversal from 2016.
Yeah,
it would be funny to see how both parties react to that, because certainly they both have their opinions about the Electoral College and the national poll, but most of the people who've called for the popular vote to be the determining factor have mostly been Democrats. So I don't know if everyone's going to keep their current opinions if that were to happen this time. But
watch the flip-flop
first. Let's keep that in mind.
That is right. All right, Ryan, great stuff. Thank you as always. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. Happy Monday.
All right, happy Monday. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
All right, happy Monday. Well, the Yankees play tonight.
It's going to be another late night.
Going to be another late night. Going to look for a big... although, what time is tonight's game? Is it...
8:08.
It is still 8:08. Okay. Yep. All right, I got a break. Quick break. We'll come right back. Anything on your mind? 315-736. I have a lot of short people jokes coming in. 315-736-0186. Good morning.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Long before Brian Miller was fighting for upstate New York as our assemblyman, he was part of a small team of MVCC engineering graduates who designed machinery to manufacture superalloy metal powder. Today, what Brian designed at Homogeneous Metals in Clayville is still being used in their process to manufacture parts found in jet engines being flown all over the world. That is impressive. And so is getting politicians to work together in Albany. It takes a special kind of person to engineer that. Brian puts on the blinders, politics aside, and he works to create better jobs and opportunity for all of us, including our graduates and young people who are finally seeing career opportunities right here at home. Brian fights for seniors, farmers, education, small business, and those of us affected by inflation simply trying to make ends meet. This election, vote Brian Miller, New York Assembly, a representative for all of us. Paid for by Brian Miller for Assembly.
With Cybersecurity Awareness Month winding down, LifeLock wants to remind you to update your software. These updates are used to patch up security issues that identity thieves can exploit to gain access to your personal info. But for comprehensive identity theft protection, there's LifeLock. LifeLock alerts you to more uses of your personal info and fixes identity theft issues that arise. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use my name as your promo code, Clay.
Oh, you've seen these before. Would you rather have to spell and pronounce charcuterie or step on a Lego? Next one. Would you rather start Social Security as soon as you can or see other possibilities? Lee Baldwin & Company can't help you with your feet, but they can help you find out why planning withdrawals can be as important as the investment. Lee Baldwin & Company. Find your investment answers at investtoday.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay in Cancun at a luxury resort, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. We're giving away 5 days and 4 night stays to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541. You may also be eligible for an exciting bonus vacation in Orlando, Florida for just $398. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your stay up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation in Orlando for just $398. What are you waiting for? Call 800-951-6541. Again, 800-951-6541 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest or sweepstakes and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by or affiliated with this station or program.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Da, 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 da. Well, good morning. I'm glad to see Brett Truitt getting involved in the Key to Yellow thing. He finally took down that no hospital downtown.
Wonder why? Why would he do that?
On his building, which really nothing has been done to that building. I'd love to have Brett come on. I don't know what, other than not agreeing with him, I don't know what I ever did to Brett Truitt. I mean, we did include him in a song. Yeah. I think there was a song, but it was just, it was all news stuff. He said, "Oh, you can tell Keeler is." What did he say? That he doesn't know how to write a song because he said she lives in the city. Well, the point was, it's a very short song. There's like maybe 11 words. The point was supposed to be that she says she lives in the city, but every time you go to her house, you end up in Herkimer. That was what the point was supposed to be. But Brett, you're a science guy. You wouldn't understand humor. I understand that. Although the kids are back with another attempt. They're back with another attempt. I don't know what they're singing. I don't know what they're singing. Here they go again.
Little Keeler in the morning is the smartest man in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
They're like British children.
They're like Brits. They're like little British kids. Here's one more.
Little Keeler in the morning is the smallest man
It sounded like they recorded that in a church.
I love it.
Oh, lovely.
That is good.
Yeah, people just don't know how to take criticism in public office.
Well, listen, you just have to. That's the funny part about this whole thing is, according to the investigator, right? We know that she does pay rent at this cottage place, but they have no evidence that she lives there.
Yeah,
and it's certainly not her primary residence. However, the city charter doesn't really mention primary residence. It mentions just residents, right?
Yeah.
So,
and, she's
but the reality is, do you think she's going anywhere? I don't think she's going anywhere.
No.
And but it's the lying that catches everybody's attention. And then she comes back for more. She comes back with a letter aimed at the district attorney's office saying they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the investigation. It's the exaggerations and the fact that she keeps it going. Now she's got another video out. She keeps it going.
She thrives off. Come on, Bill. She thrives off this.
She thrives off this controversy.
She loves it.
I think you're absolutely right.
We should just stop talking about her.
Something enormous that I'm going to announce, and next hour we'll get into it. Every day this week, and we're going to do this for a month.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, Andrew, this is enormous.
I've been prepped on this.
This is Mike says the song was shorter than you. Thank you for that, Mike. Yeah, little rim shot there.
Oh, that's funny.
It's what we call here at the radio station Free Fuel Fridays. WIBX and Cliff's local market giving listeners the chance to win $500 in free gasoline. Each day, inflation, we're paying more for our gasoline here in Utica than they do on the thruway.
It's unbelievable.
It's shocking to me. You can go on the thruway and get a lower price.
That's just got to hop on 31 and go to 32 and get off at some point. I guess
you got to
loop around.
Pay to get you actually after you pay the toll, you will actually pay less. Yeah. Or you could go into Schuyler and go in the back way, go in the employee entrance.
Oh yeah, there you go.
If you know where that is.
Do you know where that is?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You have to tell me where that is.
Each day this week through Thursday, Monday through Thursday, through November 22nd, we're going to do this. We will qualify 2 listeners each day. That qualifier will automatically win a $25 Cliff's local market gas card. This is an awesome promotion. I can't even believe we're doing this because we're cheap. We really are.
One on air, one on the app.
It's one on the app is how they're doing it?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have anything to do with the app one?
No, we have one on air.
Okay, sorry, Davey. I feel like I've been scolded by Davey.
Scolded.
We will qualify 1 listener each day here on the program. You'll win a $25 Cliff's local market gas card. And then on Friday, we'll announce not through the whole promotion. Every week, somebody will win $500 in gas from Cliff's
every week
and WIBX. Yeah, this is no. Sometimes we'll do a promotion. I'll be like, really? I am not giving away a 10% gift card. Yeah, you get 10% off.
10% off your purchase when you spend $100 or more.
Right after we raise the price 11%. No, this is a real deal. This is an old time.
So qualifiers
radio
even
promotion.
have the chance to walk away with something, right?
No. Every qualifier gets a $25 gift card.
Wow.
And
That's incredible.
There will be 2 a day. Now, in order to take advantage of the one on the app, you have to download the app. The app is absolutely free to download.
Yeah, you want to
get it on your phone. There's a lot of benefits to having that anyway. And then during the show, we'll give away 1 $25 gift card, and that person will become a qualifier. So we'll have 8 qualifiers every week in total. And each one of them receive a $25 gas card.
That's awesome.
And on Friday, we'll select 1 from the 8, and that person will win $500 in gasoline. I love this.
This is a great contest.
Anyway, and we'll still continue to do Hopica's free money question of the day. I mean, you could be a gas winner and a Hopica winner.
Win some money and some gas.
Really exciting. Anyway, we'll give you a chance coming up next hour to take that first qualifier. We'll tell you how we're going to do it, but be listening because this morning that will come in the 7 o'clock hour. That qualifier will come. Did I get it all right, Davey? Is this good? I've been given the approval. In the 7 o'clock hour this morning, we'll give one of these away, and you'll qualify. And it's a really cool promotion. I like this a lot.
One of the best.
Thank you to the promotions and Tracy and everybody who put all this together. This is a good little contest.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh, baby. So
and our local partners at
every
Cliff's
week,
local market.
Every week it's $500 in gas. Think about that's going to take you through the rest of the year and into next year if you don't do too much driving.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
or if
next,
you have the CX-90 from
then you're in great shape. You may never even use
Mazda.
it. You might not even use it. Some of Marianne Bottenshaw is coming on next hour. We'll speak with her in her final week of the campaign. And also next hour, Senator John Mannion. He'll be on. Of course, his opponent, Brandon Williams, was on Friday. We'll get to all of it along with WIBX's free money question of the day coming up.
3 things to remember about Assemblywoman Marianne Bottenshaw. 1. Marianne is the most independent member of the State Assembly. No majority member votes for us more than she does. 2. Marianne is the only Mohawk Valley representative who has a seat at the table of power. She's in the room, pushing back against the downstate agenda. And 3. Marianne is one of the few true moderates in the State Assembly. As a result, she's supported by New York's most important labor unions and endorsed by the Business Council and the National Federation of Independent Businesses. Assemblywoman Bottenshaw supports small business, police, firefighters, and first responders. She's a career educator who delivered record increases in aid for local schools. She's a farmer who understands and supports other farmers. And she's reasonable, tough, and independent. Vote for Assemblywoman Marianne Bottenshaw. She fights for the Mohawk Valley first. Paid for by Friends of Marianne Bottenshaw and not by the taxpayers of New York State.
Hi, everyone. If you or someone you know were diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, listen up, because you could be entitled to significant compensation. We have legal professionals standing by right now to take your call, and they'll tell you if you qualify for a cash settlement. Call 800-570-0200. That's 800-570-0200. Call now and find out how much money you could potentially get.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Hello, Utica. This is Carrie Paleo, Executive Director of the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce. I'm really excited to introduce more fantastic new businesses that have recently become a part of our thriving community. Be sure to support our new businesses and our local economy.
La Bistro Restaurant, 106 Genesee Street, Utica. Grow Brewing Company, 2 Campion Road, New Hartford.
Please join the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce in welcoming these new businesses. Here we grow again.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Nearly 42 million votes cast already. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Around a quarter of the people expected to vote this year have already done so. Early voting starts today in Colorado and Washington, D.C. There's been record-breaking early voting in New York City, where former President Trump packed Madison Square Garden last night.
Former President Donald Trump taking the stage at MSG, making a bold final pitch to tens of thousands of voters in the deep blue state, which included a promise to bring back the American dream.
This will be America's new golden age.
Trump also celebrating the Republican Party becoming a party of inclusion after receiving support from voters in traditionally Democrat voting blocs. Other speakers included Hulk Hogan, Dr. Phil, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy, House Speaker Mike Johnson, and many, many more.
Fox's Brooke Singman, Vice President Harris in Philadelphia, tells young first-time voters, make your voices heard.
For you, this is not theoretical. This is not political. This is not about some debate. It is about your lived experience, and you are here, and I see you because I see your power.
She has 3 events in Michigan today, including a rally with running mate Tim Walz. Trump has 2 events in Georgia. South Carolina Senate Republican Lindsey Graham says former President Trump officials are wrong to call Trump dangerous and a fascist.
Graham forcefully pushed back.
He's not a fascist. He's not Hitler. And that shows you how desperate this campaign is. You got 3 retired generals have been out of the game for a while, 3 weeks before the election, trying to replace joy with fear.
Senator Graham said he believes the former president is the best hope to end conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine and restore the American economy. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Forecasters are watching weather in the southern Caribbean that could become a late-season tropical storm. America's listening to Fox News.
The socialists who want to move into the White House have a lot of plans for your money. One of them is to control the price of food, and this is just the start. Could 401ks and IRAs be next on their agenda? It might sound far-fetched, but so did price fixing just months ago. Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here. If you've spent decades building your nest egg, you can act now to stop your savings from falling into the hands of the socialists. It's why Americans are turning to gold, the ultimate safe haven in uncertain times. To see how easy it is to diversify your retirement with gold, get a free info kit from my friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Birch Gold makes it easy to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait any longer. Protect your financial future now. Text PROTECT to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
An unnamed Trump campaign advisor is among the victims of a Chinese government-affiliated phone hacking operation, according to the Washington Post. It says the hackers got access to phone call audio and text messages. There was a crowd inside and outside former President Trump's campaign rally in New York City last night.
Madison Square Garden sits on New York City's famous Fashion Avenue, so some folks got creative with their rally outfits.
We got the nice red tie and the pin for Outer and Donald J. Trump.
And
for Republican, it's a long Vietnamese dress, and it has Trump 45, 47, Make America Great Again. And my dress is the Patriot for Freedom San Diego. It's a group from San Diego.
This is a signed Connor McDavid number 97 Adidas jersey. This is my commitment. I modified it to read 47 and changed the name to Trump.
At Madison Square Garden, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Playoff racing doesn't get much better than the NASCAR Cup Round of 8 race at Homestead Miami Speedway.
3 drivers were vying for the checkered flag entering the last lap Sunday, all of them still alive in the championship.
Tyler Reddick just drives all the way around Ryan Blaney. Can you believe what you've just seen? Reddick's going to Phoenix.
Courtesy NBC Sports, Tyler Reddick used a mad dash on the final lap to beat defending Cup champion Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin to the finish line. He joins Joey Logano in the championship race. Christopher Bell is in 3rd place and Byron 4th. Kyle Larson, who leads all drivers with 6 wins this season, now on the outside looking in 7 points behind Byron with 1 race to decide the final 2 spots for Phoenix. Tim McMaster, Fox News.
Actor Timothy Chalamet made a surprise appearance at his own look-alike contest in New York City, posing with other hide-chic, curly-haired types. Organizers were issued a $500 fine, and police had to order the group to break up. There was at least 1 arrest. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. This update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. Right now, we are at 34 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. The leader of the Syracuse Police Department says the agency is currently in need of officers. During an interview that aired on WSTM TV yesterday, Chief Joseph Cecile said in his opinion there are between 50 and 60 positions that need to be filled. Only 7 brand new officers are being added following the latest graduating class, which is much fewer than in past years. Cecil says if the problem worsens, it will have an impact on public safety. A woman is expected to make a full recovery after becoming a victim of gun violence in Lafayette. Authorities say she was riding in a vehicle on Apulia Road when she was struck by a bullet yesterday. She ended up being treated for a leg injury at the scene, but no one else was injured. So far, an arrest has not been made in the case, and anyone with information is asked to come forward. Oneida County officials are taking action to try and prevent drug overdoses in their communities. A new system called NOD has been launched that provides residents with text messages that focus on overdose prevention. The messages are also going to offer valuable skills and provide support for people who need it. Monetary incentives are now being offered on a first-come, first-served basis to individuals who sign up for the program. Details on how to participate are available at ocgov.net. As has been the case for weeks now, the price of gas is still on the decline across central New York. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is sitting at $3.22. That's down 1 penny in the last 7 days and is also 5 cents lower than this time a month ago. The state average is $3.20. Nationally, it's $3.13. Halloween is just a few days away, and police all over New York State are keeping an eye out on dangerous drivers. It's part of the yearly Halloween crackdown on impaired and reckless motorists that goes through October 31st. Folks can expect to see increased patrols and sobriety checkpoints, and during last year's initiative, over 32,000 citations were handed out. Data shows Halloween is the deadliest day of the year for pedestrians under the age of 18. And this week, little ghosts and goblins will be knocking on your door. A majority of Americans say kids should stop knocking on doors for treats by 13 and a half years old. About 25% say kids should trick-or-treat for as long as they'd like. About 3% say no trick-or-treating. Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey just released the study, adding at a time when people are battling over politics, it appears they mostly agree on at least one thing. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:08. We've got your weather forecast right now.
Here's the latest forecast from the WIBX Weather Center. Dry start to the week. There is some rain in the forecast, however, as the next front comes in, and then warmer weather by midweek. A lot of clouds, some clear sky this morning, clouds and some sun later today. Should get into the low 50s, pretty close to average, if anything, a little bit below. Some clouds tonight, mid-30s, the North Country, a little bit colder. Late showers tomorrow, highs low 60s, and a little breezy out Wednesday, but partly sunny and warm, 75. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
34 degrees under cloudy skies at 7:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43, local contractors. The Dodgers hope to take a commanding lead over the Yankees in the World Series when LA visits New York for Game 3 tonight. The Blue Crew is leading the Fall Classic 2-0 after winning both games at Dodger Stadium. Manager Dave Roberts says superstar slugger Shohei Ohtani has been cleared to play after suffering a subluxation of his left shoulder during an attempted steal in Game 2. Clark Schmidt is getting the start for the Pinstripes, who are looking to win their first World Series game since 2009. Schmidt has allowed 4 runs on 9 hits over 9 1/3 innings this postseason. He'll be opposed by Walker Buehler, who has gone 0 for 1 with 6 runs allowed over 9 innings in the playoffs. Davey, interesting stat. In the last 2 meetings for these two teams, the team that has been up 2-0 has gone on to lose. I don't know how that's going to play out or what relevance that has. Probably none with regard to this series, but we will see. They have to win tonight. They must win tonight, 100%.
And the big man's got to wake up. Aaron Judge's bat's got to wake up.
Oh, you're right. You're right. The Jets, oh boy, speaking of a rough team, the Jets dropped their 5th consecutive game after falling to the Patriots 25-22 at Gillette Stadium. Aaron Rodgers completed 17 of 28 passes for 233 yards and 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall led the team in rushing with 80 yards. Braylon Allen carried the ball 12 times for 32 yards and a score. New York is now tied for last in the AFC East at 2-6. They'll host the Texans for Thursday Night Football on Halloween. No easy feat on a short week having to play a team like the Texans.
And this was the only game on locally on TV was the Jets, the Patriots at 1 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting. The Buffalo Bills keep rolling along after picking up a blowout victory on the road and pushing their winning streak to 3. Buffalo's quarterback Josh Allen threw for 283 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bills beat the Seahawks 31-10 at Lumen Field yesterday. In other sports stories, Brock Purdy and the 49ers capped off another Sunday of NFL action with a 30-24 win over Dak Prescott and the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. In the early slate, the Lions thrashed the Titans 52-14. The Browns upset the Ravens 29-24 in the AFC North rivalry game. And the Cardinals recorded a last-second 28-7 win over the Dolphins in South Beach. The Chiefs remained unbeaten 27-20 over the Raiders, and the Bills obviously cruised to a 31-10 takedown of the Seahawks. We mentioned that one. Green Bay beat the Jacksonville Jaguars on a second week in a row, last-minute field goal. And how about this? The Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, threw a 52-yard touchdown pass as time expired, a Hail Mary lob into the end zone to defeat the Bears. What an impressive and crazy end to that game as well. So a very
This is
exciting-
Governor Kathy Hochul.
Yes.
Katie Aiello is right. Bill Keeler really is the smallest man in the world.
I did not mean that to play. Hit the wrong button. But,
oh, Kathy.
You something else, boy.
Speaking of governors,
what I wanted to say is that was
amazing.
A spectacular, deflected off a player and landed in the arms
of the Commander's receiver.
Of the Commander's receiver in the end zone. Game over.
The Washington Commanders are a hell of a team. And there's a lot of irony in the
We've
NFL
seen
this
a couple of Hail Marys, and one of them
was Rodgers.
Yeah,
in a first half end.
Yeah,
Dan Quinn, part of the failing Dallas Cowboys last year, has taken this Washington Commanders team and just Jaden Daniels, man, he's awesome. And it was interesting because yesterday's game, the Bears and Commanders saw the two top quarterback picks going at it, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. And so it was an exciting game there and an exciting end. And speaking of former governors, I watched for the first time, because now it's on Netflix. It's very common to have shows have a resurgence.
Yeah.
The Escape at Dannemora.
Oh, that's on?
Yeah, it's on Netflix now.
Actually, we saw that. Doesn't she
When it was
play
on
the
Showtime.
woman plays a really
Patricia
good
Arquette, yeah.
Yeah, she looked like the woman.
She did.
It was incredible.
How about the everybody looked pretty accurate as far as, like, they got people to look pretty much like the characters, especially her husband Lyle.
Yes.
But Christopher Imperioli,
Yeah.
or Michael Imperioli, who played Christopher on Sopranos, he was Cuomo.
The problem
But it
is
was very brief.
You recognized him. Yeah. And they needed to make that brief. Over the weekend, we watched the one about the dating game, the movie that's on
I've
Netflix.
seen it. We've seen it, and I wasn't a fan. Everybody's raving about it.
I thought it was the weirdest movie because it seemed like it was all about the contestant. And then all of a sudden, it really wasn't.
It really wasn't, no.
She got away.
Yeah, she was one of the ones that got away.
She got away. And
I just thought it was slow.
Such a bad ending, and it was kind of slow. And it was over the top the way they weren't that sexual on the show. I don't seem to.
dating, yeah.
I never watched it, but I've seen repeats. It wasn't that bad, I didn't think, but they made it seem like it was like outright dirty. And I don't remember it that way.
And from how Willie described it, that's a good point that I didn't even think about. From the way the movie started and the way Willie described it, I'm like, this is going to be a story of like how this woman had a relationship with this guy.
And none of that happened. It was all
spoiler alert. But nothing really.
Spoiler alert! Please beware.
Yeah,
but it all ends in the parking lot, and she gets away. It was more about other people that he had gotten a hold of, and they say he may have killed over 100 women,
and been arrested and got away with it.
And got away with it. Yeah,
been arrested and released.
All right, coming up, quick break. Coming right up, we'll speak with Assemblywoman Mary Ann Buttonshaw. Are you done? Yankees play tonight. Big. They got to get a win in here.
They have got to win tonight.
For obvious reasons. But they're in New York now. So here we go. That game starts at 8:08. Is that right, Davey?
Correct, Bill.
Man, you are training me well. I mean, I'm knocking it out of the park here. Hold on. We'll come back with Assemblywoman Mary Ann Buttonshaw.
At Mattress Express, we deliver quickly. If you've waited too long for your mattress to be delivered elsewhere, simply bring your receipt in. We will deliver the same or comparable mattress, and we will meet or beat the price and get it to you quickly. Come see us today.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow by New Nordic. Millions of men and women around the world trust Hair Grow. With its patented tocotrienol complex, Hair Grow naturally reduces inflammation in the scalp and is clinically proven to promote new hair growth and increase hair count in as little as 4 months. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com. or in stores at your local CVS.
The Rome Area Chamber of Commerce presents a night of Motown melodies for Rome recovery. Friday, November 8th at the Rome Polish House. Starting at 6:30 p.m. featuring the Brownskin Band and the ZZ Trio. This event features an open bar which includes beer, wine, and 2 signature drinks from 6:30 to 9:30, plus appetizers and hors d'oeuvres. Tickets are $45 each or $80 per couple. All proceeds will benefit the Rome Chamber Business Assistance Fund. Get your tickets and more information at romechamber.com/events.
You'll find no shortage of work to do in a New Holland Workmaster or Boomer compact tractor. Available now at Clinton Tractor. Get 0% financing for 72 months, plus no payments for 90 days, or choose cash back on these 24 to 55 horsepower compact and subcompact tractors. Stop into Clinton Tractor today or at clintontractor.net. Offer ends soon.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Okay then, low miles, real cream puff. Sign here, drive off.
I'd like to read the fine print.
Don't bother, miss.
Mrs. You'd be surprised what you find in the fine print. Like that Prop 1 that's on the ballot.
Equal rights? We love them here at Ace Auto.
Only Prop 1 isn't about equal rights. It's about special rights for illegal immigrants.
Say what?
It's in the fine print. You can read it on the ballot. Under Prop 1, national origin gets constitutional protection.
Huh. That means...
I do my own research.
I noticed.
Well, critics say Prop 1 could block local efforts to deal with the migrant crisis and give illegals a constitutional right to taxpayer benefits. Prop 1 could even open the door for non-citizens to vote here.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm voting no on Prop 1. It's a clunker. Paid for by Vote No on Prop 1 Committee. Vote no on prop1.org.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Quickly, can you read Chuck Lester's comment quickly without getting into this long? Actually, stand by. We'll do it afterwards.
Yeah.
Let me take Mary Ann first, because I do want to respond to it. Chuck Lester, what are you doing, man? Oh, boy. You got Andrew heated.
Listen,
man.
somebody who liked Chuck and respected him, I'm kind of appalled, and
you're that mad.
Changes my opinion of him dramatically.
Ooh. Yeah. All right, let me go to Assemblywoman Mary Ann Buttonshaw, who's on the line right now. Mary Ann, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today.
So here we are in the final days of the campaign. This has been a heated campaign season. I think we've had all the way around. How are you doing, and where do you stand going into the final week?
I'm doing great. Thank you. And clearly, just been doing what I normally do, attending different events and meetings. I have a job to do. So our office is up and running and functioning just as it normally would. I understand the importance of continuing to do the work, and I think that is, when you identify campaigning, the most important part is to get your work done.
Yeah.
I have been going door to door, so it's great to meet new folks and hear if they have any concerns. So that is always, to me, very exciting, just to meet individuals at their homes.
Now, what are some of the things that you're hearing from those constituents as you're going door to door that are things that are concerning for them?
Well, some of them turn out to be local issues, possibly a problem with some work within the front of their home. So I do have the great opportunity to also walk with local electeds. So it's kind of the ability to get pretty much what their answers need to be because the local electeds are with me. I can say that I ask individuals, do you have any questions or concerns? And the vast majority identify no. Just to say hello, and it was nice meeting them, and they appreciate me coming.
I would say that what are for you going forward? What are the three main issues that if reelected, you want to focus on going forward into 2025?
Well, again, the economy is always one that's very important, and most of the issues have to be looked at holistically because they all intertwine within one another, shall we say. So public safety. If individuals don't feel safe, then we're not going to be able to thrive in the economy, as well as the importance of education at both levels when we talk about primary, secondary, as well as higher ed. And clearly, the significant aspect of each one of our entities that come together and support within. So we do see various nonprofits that are working with our municipalities. But I firmly believe that the local level has their finger on the pulse of what's needed, and these decisions need to be made locally, and I need to support them, whether it's through legislation or funding opportunities that I can provide to them.
And then I'll ask you on, I know there have been several commercials that have tried to pin you with the governor and rubber stamping with the governor, whatever the commercial says. But in your commercial, you say, I trust that people know who I am and what I represent. Specifically, what do you mean by that?
Well, more importantly, I don't rubber stamp anything. I'm here to represent the people of the Mohawk Valley. But secondly, I do work with everyone. I can't get a piece of legislation put into law without the governor signing it. So the respect that we have to have for individuals, to me, is most important. I take a look at talking about myself because that's who I know. Right. And more importantly is what needs to be done for the community. So do I work with Republicans, Democrats, Independent, everybody? Yes, because I understand how the process works, is that you're never going to get a piece of legislation into law without working with the Senate, because it has to pass both houses, and then the governor has to sign it. So more importantly is talking about the process and understanding the process, and then determining how best to ensure that the residents of the Mohawk Valley are served in their best interest.
All right. You've done a lot of knocking on doors. That's always the interesting part of
the ground game
of campaigning, is going in there and shaking somebody's hand and talking to them. I'm sure that you learn a lot from that, and it is a really important part of any campaign.
Yes, but I can say that also going to events where individuals have chosen to be a part of it, and they're very comfortable at those events also. Had quite a few this weekend, a lot of great events that this community and the volunteers and so many that come forward. I can't, when you talk about this community and you just see a couple events for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. Yeah. The dark dining, the Boilermaker having their kids' races, instilling that health and wellness. Because our youth are always a priority to me. And clearly the various roundtable discussions that I've had with locals as well as folks in Albany to determine how best to serve and ensure that our youth in crisis as well as our youth in need are served.
All right, Assemblywoman, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk again soon, and good luck as the week goes on.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Assemblywoman Marianne Bottenshawn, and we'll talk with her opponent later on in the week, as we will with everybody who's out there running later in the hour.
It'll be the week of candidates.
Later on in the hour, Senator John Mannion is coming up. He, of course, is running against Brandon Williams. We spoke to Brandon on Friday. A lot of those commercials. You know, I saw something that was really the first time I've ever seen this before, and it was on YouTube TV. And it was a Mannion commercial that was going after Brandon Williams. And then it was immediately followed by a Brandon Williams commercial that said, completely disagreed with what was said in the previous commercial. I wonder if we've gotten to a point where you can buy a commercial
in response to
and
another.
say, I want to run this commercial every time my opponent runs this commercial. YouTube TV is different than Spectrum. Have we gotten to that point yet? Or is it
just a coincidence because there's so many commercials?
Because you're right. It's gonna land in front of one of those.
The interesting one too is the John Walsh commercial. I didn't realize because it actually says he's the America's Most Wanted guy.
Yeah.
He says
he makes a lot of money off those.
Voting for.
Yeah, he lives in
he
lives
Auburn,
in Stittville.
Right? Is it Stittville?
Yeah.
I thought it was Auburn.
I don't know where he lives.
Well, he's from Auburn, New York, so that's
But he can't vote in this district.
Yeah.
So that's been the big I want to say big controversy. I don't know why he says I vote for him when he could just say
he says, I'm voting for him.
I support him. But I don't believe that he can vote in this district.
I wonder where he lives because he's originally from Auburn, New York.
Syracuse.com has a story. I do not think that he can vote here. He should have said, I'm supporting Brandon Williams. Okay. While you're looking that up, quickly with the Chuck Lester, the Chuck Lester swipe, if you could. And coming up, we're going to give you a chance to win gasoline. This is an awesome promotion. Every day this week, we're going to take a $25 gas winner. And at the end of the week, on Friday, one person will win $500 in gasoline from Clifford and WIBX. Really cool.
It's an awesome promotion.
Love it. All right, quickly, Chuck Lester angry over Aaron Boone and our comments.
Yeah,
I think it was my comment that said he could possibly, there are people talking about it, and I'm only responding to what people are saying. You look all over. They're livid over Friday night's decision and his managing.
Been critical of Aaron Boone all season.
Everybody, I don't want to say everybody. That's unfair. But there were a lot of people saying that he might lose his job if the Yankees go on to lose over that loss on Friday.
I have been critical of Aaron Boone all season, and it's no exception for this postseason. And I'm not the only Yankee fan, okay, who's critical.
Anyway, what does Richard say?
Chuck says...
Chuck. Sorry, Richard.
I have to laugh at two fat guys who sit on their ass and criticize Boone. As I recall, Boone did make any errors on the field or strike out with men on base. And I just simply responded, way to go personal. And now he's all butthurt saying, I guess
personal about being fat.
Yeah.
Chuck, Andrew takes that very personally.
And
you're fat shame. You don't fat shame people today.
No,
that is just ooh.
So I guess when you two guys use my name when someone makes a comment about me that's not flattering, it's allowed. I'm done in the shower, so your show is turned off till after 8.
So I don't understand how we go after him.
Listen, you've run for political office, and people have been critical, and yes, we have read it, but I've never criticized the physical appearance of Chuck. And neither has anybody else, to my knowledge.
Yeah. And I hate to say, but Chuck, it is the cancer medicine I'm on that's making me gain the weight.
Listen, for me, I do realize I've got to get in shape. I've got to. Yeah, I've got a wedding coming up.
I'm really working on it because I have a wedding coming up. I'm going to be going to Andrew's wedding. And I want to be able to fit in my suit. And I am obsessed with my weight.
Yeah.
So it is killing me.
It's been a struggle.
But you know what happens for
me?
me? This thing makes me, I'm hungry all the time.
Yeah.
I'll get done eating and want to eat more.
Well, it's interesting. Since I stopped drinking, you lose weight, right? When I stopped drinking, you lose a lot of weight because alcohol.
Then you replace it.
And then I've been replacing it. Yeah. So it's been difficult.
It's like quitting smoking. People quit smoking.
So I'm sorry anybody watching on YouTube has to deal with my disgusting fatness
I
on
will,
a daily basis.
If you're all right with it, I'll turn on the skinny filter.
Please,
if you want.
Do they have that?
I don't think so. We're going to talk to John Mannion coming up in a second. We're going to give away our first qualifier of the gas. Well, the good news is you'll see where Andrew and I go on this attempted diet we're going on between now and when is your wedding?
March.
In March. Between now and March. How will we do? It's not like there's anything coming up that'll make us gain weight. Thanksgiving, Christmas cookies,
New
Christmas
Year's.
fudge, New Year's, all the good things. Turkey joints. I mean, turkey joints. I can sit down and during a Buffalo Bills game and finish off an entire jar of those things. They're so good.
I know.
Okay, let's break. Andrew will do a quick update, and then we'll do the free money contest. All right? Quick break. Free money contest and gas coming up at WIBX.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
When it comes to saving our country, we need former President Donald Trump, and keeping Republican control of Congress means re-electing Congresswoman Elise Stefanik and Congressman Brandon Williams. When it comes to saving our state, re-electing Senator Joe Griffo and Assemblyman Brian Miller, as well as electing Republican conservative Christine Esposito to the 119th Assembly District is imperative. Let's send a message to Governor Hochul. We want change. Paid for by Oneida County Republican Committee.
As we get older, our bodies and our minds just don't work as good. You know what I'm talking about. We don't heal or recover as fast, and we just don't have the energy we used to have. Our feet hurt more, our joints ache and become stiff. We aren't as limber, and we don't move as fluid as we once did. Even more, our libido can take a dive, and we certainly don't sleep as well or think as clearly. As time goes on, we lose muscle and gain body fat. Well, I have some inspiring news. Have you heard about LiveBetterCNY.com? LiveBetterCNY.com is where you can access the most advanced technologies and modern-day approaches to feeling better, healing better, and aging more successfully. LiveBetterCNY.com helps you say goodbye to the old ways and brings you to the future of successful aging. We all need less pain, less stress, and reduced risk for life-altering diseases. Change your life today at LiveBetterCNY.com.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:34. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now it is cloudy and 34 degrees. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Early voting continues across New York today, but a lot of people have already cast their ballots. As a reminder, the early voting period does not wrap up until this Sunday. A woman is expected to make a full recovery after becoming a victim of gun violence in Lafayette. Authorities say she was riding in a vehicle on Apulia Road when she was struck by a bullet yesterday. She ended up being treated for a leg injury at the scene, but no one else was injured. So far, an arrest has not been made in the case. Anyone who has information is asked to come forward. Oneida County officials are taking action to try and prevent drug overdoses in their communities. A new system called EndOD has been launched that provides residents with text messages that focus on overdose prevention. The messages are also going to offer valuable skills and provide support for people who need it. Monetary incentives are now being offered on a first-come, first-served basis to individuals who sign up for the program. Details on how to participate are available at ocgov.net. Halloween is just a few days away, and police all over New York State are keeping an eye out for dangerous drivers. It's part of the yearly Halloween crackdown on impaired and reckless motorists that goes through October 31st. Folks can expect to see increased patrols and sobriety checkpoints, and during last year's initiative, over 32,000 citations were handed out. Data shows Halloween is the deadliest day of the year for pedestrians under the age of 18. As has been the case for weeks now, the price of gas is still on the decline across central New York. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is $3.22. That's down a penny in the last 7 days and is also 5 cents lower than this time 1 month ago. The state average is $3.20 a gallon, while nationally it's $3.13. And the Buffalo Bills keep rolling along after picking up a blowout victory on the road and pushing their winning streak to 3. Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen threw for 283 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bills beat the Seattle Seahawks 31-10 at Lumen Field yesterday. Bills running back James Cook had 2 rushing scores as his team boosted its record this season to 6 wins and 2 losses. Buffalo's next game is Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. It is 7:36. Your weather forecast is according to the Weather Channel's Ray Stajic.
Forecast from the WIBX Weather Center. Dry start to the week. There is some rain in the forecast, however, as the next front comes in, and then warmer weather by midweek. A lot of clouds, some clear sky this morning, clouds and some sun later today. Should get into the low 50s, pretty close to average, if anything, a little bit below. Some clouds tonight, mid-30s in the North Country, a little bit colder. Late showers tomorrow, highs low 60s, and a little breezy on Wednesday, but partly sunny and warm, 75. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
34 degrees, cloudy skies at 7:38.
All right, Davey, we're going to be dealing with a gas giveaway coming up in a little bit. But before we get there, we'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. How much are we looking at here this morning?
$100.
$150, says Davey.
I said 100, 100, 100. Don't you understand? 100.
Davey says $150, and Habaika's going to be living over it. But okay.
I give up.
Yeah, $150. What caller number are you looking for?
You want to pick the caller too? You're going to go against me for picking the caller?
I don't know what you're talking about. What caller number? You tell me.
Caller 6.
All right, 6 caller for $150 as declared by Davey just moments ago. Caller number 6 at 315-736-0186 right now.
Lights, camera, music. Sunday, November 10th, the Rome Capitol Theater presents Guitars Along the Mohawk. The afternoon concert begins at 1. A lineup of your favorite local acoustic musicians will perform their original songs for a television production. Guitars Along the Mohawk, Sunday, November 10th at the Rome Capitol Theater. Complete details on the Guitars Along the Mohawk Facebook page and online at romecapital.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Shop with confidence at Mattress Express with our brand name low price guarantee. When you buy a mattress at Mattress Express, if you see it advertised locally within 30 days of purchase, bring it to our attention. We simply refund the difference. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Joe Griffo is there when we need him. No matter how big or small the issue, Joe makes a difference. He has the clout in Albany to get things done, and that's huge for all of us. As Assistant Minority Leader, Joe's helped secure over $1 billion for roads, bridges, and schools, and investments like the Odd, Wynn Hospital, and high-tech jobs at Griffiths and Marcy. We're coming back because Joe Griffo has our back. This fall, vote to re-elect Senator Joe Griffo because Joe gets things done.
Senator Joe Griffo knows our recent progress is amazing, but there's so much more to be done to keep the momentum going. Joe's committed to delivering critical aid for infrastructure and schools and supporting small business. He'll keep the pressure on Governor Hochul and the New York City majority to reverse our dangerous bail laws and stop the flow of illegal immigrants. It's time to give law enforcement the tools they need to keep us safe. This fall, let's keep the comeback going. Re-elect Senator Joe Griffo. Paid for by friends of Joe Griffo 2024.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll will help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You can be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Okay then, low miles, real cream puff. Sign here, drive off.
I'd like to read the fine print.
Don't bother, miss.
Mrs. You'd be surprised what you find in the fine print. Like that Prop 1 that's on the ballot.
Equal rights? We love them here at Ace Auto.
Only Prop 1 isn't about equal rights. It's about special rights for illegal immigrants.
Say what?
It's in the fine print. You can read it on the ballot. Under Prop 1, national origin gets constitutional protection.
Huh. That means...
I do my own research.
I noticed.
Well, critics say Prop 1 could block local efforts to deal with the migrant crisis and give illegals a constitutional right to taxpayer benefits. Prop 1 could even open the door for non-citizens to vote here.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm voting no on Prop 1. It's a clunker. Paid for by Vote No on Prop 1 Committee. Vote no on prop1.org.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let's start here with the Hobica Free Money question of the day. It is worth, as Davey has declared this morning, $150. Big start for a Monday here. Let's go to our contestant. Steve in Utica is ready to take a shot. Hi, Steve. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
You ready to go?
Yes.
You know how it works. You got to get your answer in. You'll have 7 seconds to answer. And here we go. This is your question. The Buffalo Bills will have a new stadium soon. The first stadium they played in was called what? Ready, go.
Rich Stadium.
Was it Rich Stadium? It
used to be owned by the Rich Food Company, I believe, was the name of one
So
of the
Ralph
fields.
Wilson Stadium, I think, was the second stadium. Before that, from 1960 until 1972, they played in War Memorial Stadium.
Ooh.
So the first one. Yeah. And right now, what do we call it now? It's Highmark Stadium now. So that new stadium is going to cost a lot of money. They're putting.
It'll be our stadium, the people of New York Stadium.
Certainly, the people of New York. All right, listen, Stephen, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card, and it's good at the Comets games, Nexus, Taylor and the Cook, Babes, Aquavino. It's just an awesome card that you can use anywhere. So stand by. Davey's going to hook you up.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, thank you so much. And he's on hold. Davey, I think I'm going to do the gas giveaway quickly. This is an exciting start.
So we're just doing like a caller number here for this?
That's all I'm going to do.
Okay.
This is an exciting. Why, you want me to do more?
I don't know. Maybe we should do a little fun contest of some kind.
Well, if I do that, I'm going to have to delay it. If you want to, you got to call in now. All right, Andrew's changing the rules on me.
Am I? I don't know. Should I have? I don't know. Maybe I should.
Today we're going to do it this way. Tomorrow
I questioned my whole existence today.
We can't change it. Let me go to. This is the indecision you see in Albany. That I got to tell you, we're going to be talking to John Mannion.
Can't get anything
about,
done.
Nobody can make up their mind. It's just terrible. And you know what? It's worse in Congress. And here is Senator John Mannion running for the 22nd Congressional District. John, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, Keeler, thanks for the wonderful introduction. I appreciate that.
Well, sorry about that.
Good talking to you.
They can't get anything done. It's terrible. The reality is that is what they say about Congress, where we're so divided today, nothing gets done. I would ask you to start, and this is really a tough question. Why would you want this? Why would you want this? How do you answer that?
Keeler, I get asked it every single day. I really do, and people warn me ahead of time, like, John, you got a great life. Don't do this. But I do care about this region. I love this country, and I wanted to, honestly, for the reasons you said, I want to work together. We've got a great history. We've got a great country. We've got great opportunity here, and we have great challenges. Like, we got to get this right. So I left the job I loved in the classroom to go do this, and it is a full contact sport, trust me. But, we got to work together. We are a place here in central New York and the Mohawk Valley that is representative of the country, where we cross all political backgrounds. We're about down the middle, and our strong representatives from both ends of the district that have been around a while have been in the middle and worked together and have a history of that. So I hope to continue that legacy.
And, boy, there's just so much going on in the world right now. Obviously, there's this presidential race is being called the closest in modern history. You don't know who, if you are elected and you become our next congressman, you really don't know who you're going to be working with in terms of who will have control, where control will be of the House, possibly the Senate, and who the president will be. Can you work with, no matter who gets there, can you work with them?
Absolutely. I'm going to have to. I'm going to represent the people of the 22nd District, and it's my duty to be their voice and make sure that we get our fair share and we get things done. One of my great concerns, again, is that as we get through November 5th, that the future, we make sure that, of course, we certify these elections, we move forward, and we do the people's work, and we move on. And it is going to be, I do believe, there's certainly going to be congressional seats that are close. There's certainly going to be swing states that are close. So, we have a great history in this country of democracy and supporting our elections. And I've watched that firsthand in the close elections that I've been a part of. I've won 2, I've lost 1. So I'm going to work with who's ever there to get things done. But I can't emphasize enough the importance of supporting our election system that is functioning and has been, gone through like the judicial process in the 2020 election and found to be valid. So we got to move forward here and support each other and support these elections and not sow doubt.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a moment here, Davey. We are going to let's do this. They want to do this gas contest now. So we'll do it this way this week, and then if you want to change, you can change it for next week. Caller number 5, you qualify to you'll win a $25 gas card and qualify for Friday's giveaway of $500 in gasoline. 315-736-0186. Call Davey right now.
Senator, sorry, you're already on the line, so you're not eligible.
You are not caller number 1, just for the record.
All right. No problem. I did have at least one of my guesses was War Memorial Stadium, which was where The Natural was filmed, and that
was the guess.
I missed the call, and I called in at the wrong time.
What are you hearing from people when you go door to door, and is anybody slamming the door in your face? We are so heated, it seems, that when people talk politics, it gets ugly. And what are you seeing, and what are you hearing? I've run since 2018, and I have had literally a handful or less of bad experiences. I just think the people here we're built a little bit differently. I think we treat each other respectfully, even if we disagree. I've had very few instances of that, and none this year, honestly, none. Some people say no thank you and close the door or whatever, but they're not rude, they're not nasty, they're not calling me any names, despite the honestly toxicity that's out there in the media. So I just think we're built a little bit differently here, and we don't like the nastiness, we don't like to tear each other down, and people honestly have been very kind and welcoming. I want to ask
even if they disagree.
Yeah, even if they disagree. I do want to ask about the rather heated debate last week with your opponent. It went back and forth. A lot of stuff was covered, but it did get heated with accusations. Obviously, the commercial that we see on TV, there are 2 of them. One is showing Brandon Williams in an argument with a staffer. He claims that happened because he was defending his family. that he was being blackmailed, but we did push on that a little bit.
We did ask him about it.
And he said there was no criminal blackmail, that there was something they were going to use, a staffer was going to use against him in a campaign. But he believes that your situation, while you have said it was found to be unfounded, he basically said, well, that's, it's a democratic state. Of course, they're going to say that. And he should release the report. Is there a report, and is that available for the public to be able to read on those accusations that were made against you?
So I would welcome the report being released, and I have not seen the report. The New York State Senate conducted an extensive, independent, thorough investigation, and I was found to have done nothing wrong. So this is a personnel matter. These are not my rules. These are the Senate rules. And it's not my word that this has happened. It was officially stated and released, and as a reminder, this happened just days before my primary election. It was an anonymous report. The Senate investigated and found nothing. And I see this, honestly, I'm moving forward. The issues are too important here for us to address issues on housing, protecting people's rights, affordability, opportunity. So, this is something that my opponent is trying to distract people with. He knows all of this too. He knows the report was released and it was unfounded, and it used, honestly, a independent law firm that was created by Republicans. So, there you go.
Okay. All right. And going forward, how do you feel that you, if elected, where will you vote differently on which issues, and are there issues that you would be in agreement with Brandon Williams?
Sure. It would depend on the issue and the legislation that comes up. I just think, we got to get it right. For me, I support our public schools. I support our veterans. I understand from living here my whole life what it was like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s with a lot of job losses, and that's always with me, So in the primary, I voted against my party multiple times. I mean, not in the primary, but it was pointed out in my primary election how many times I voted against my party, and I have the fourth highest number out of 42 Democratic senators in rejecting that. Rejecting, whatever the legislation was. And I just see that as an example of the fact that I get Central New York and the Mohawk Valley. I lived here. I watched it. I understand how we operate. And therefore, whether it's, agricultural policy, whether it is an economic development deal, whether it is expanding universal pre-K in upstate New York, those are the things that, I'm going to vote the way I think the people want me to vote here, and I know how they would want me to vote, and I don't want to come back home and have to explain something. Again, it's not always going to be 100-0 in support for legislation back here, but if around half the people could not support this and it doesn't work for the region or it's bad for the region, I'm not voting for it. The state and local tax deduction cap was punitive towards New York State intentionally, and that was a federal piece of legislation. That's something that, if my party wanted to extend that, I couldn't support it because it's negative to my region and the people who live here.
Andrew.
One of the things that your opponent is very staunch in his support for is supporting Israel in this conflict that is ongoing. Do you find that you would be in agreement with him in regards to supporting Israel in every effort to, battle against Hamas?
Absolutely, and I have been. Israel is our ally. They're the only democracy in the Middle East. We're supporting them, and we need to continue to. This is, again, he's trying to make a wedge issue out of something that is not, because I have been supportive in the state legislature. We've passed funding bills to support our Jewish synagogues and educational institutions for increased security. Whenever our office hears word that something has occurred in the community. We take action right away, make sure that local law enforcement is aware, and we've had conversations with municipal and association leaders about that. You bring up the debate earlier. I made a statement on October 7th, a strong statement, and I have continued to make statements as I've seen appropriate. And for my opponent to try to call that out when it's easily verifiable really makes no sense to me. And he doubled down and tripled down on it, even though, we released a press release. It was on my campaign Facebook page. It was on, Twitter as well. So listen, the people I talk to that are concerned about what's happening in the Middle East thank me for my staunch support. They're not wondering, whether I put out a statement or not, but it's easily verifiable that I did.
What's his name from the America's Most Wanted?
John Walsh.
John Walsh. I'm sure you've seen the John Walsh commercial, and I'm sure you saw the story in the Post-Standard regarding his comment saying, I'm voting for Brandon Williams. Somebody told us this morning that he actually does live somewhere in the district. I don't believe that's true. Am I correct?
I am not, honestly, I'm not sure. I will say this again. I'm more focused on what people need in this region. So I know he is from either Auburn or the Auburn area. Where I take exception is my strong support for law enforcement all along, that I've been endorsed by law enforcement organizations, including the New York State Troopers in this election. I created a law enforcement agency, the first one in 50 years in New York State, at the Syracuse Regional Airport Authority. I secure funding for mental health, for training, for technology. I'm going to continue to do that. So trying to paint me as someone who's anti-law enforcement or trying to tie me to the bail laws, which were passed before I was in office and I've only strengthened them, just doesn't make any sense to me. It's not truthful. And when people ask me what's one of the most frustrating things about being an elected official or running for office, it's things like that. Because I've got a long record and a strong record of supporting law enforcement. My friends, my family are in law enforcement, and we need to continue to support them because, their bravery keeps us safe every day.
And then finally, somebody asking your support for Ukraine versus Russia in this war. And by the way, depending on the outcome of the election, a lot could be changing there in terms of our support. Where do you stand?
That is very concerning, absolutely. So I'm a strong supporter of Ukraine. I grew up in a neighborhood, and this is not the reason, but I have so many deep connections, and I know it firsthand. I grew up in Tipperary Hill, which was supposed to be an Irish neighborhood, but it was very large Ukrainian population.
Yeah.
I've taught lots of Ukrainian students. I went to a Ukrainian kindergarten at St. John the Baptist, but the Ukrainians are holding the line on democracy in Eastern Europe, and they, I do not trust Vladimir Putin. I believe he is not stopping there. And, we're almost 3 years into this war. What they've done is really heroic and commendable. We have to continue to support them.
Fair enough. John, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time with us during this campaign. We wish you the best of luck. And it ends a week from tomorrow, shockingly.
It will end.
It will end. Thank you for your time, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, John Mannion. Got a break. We have news next, top of the hour.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Donald Trump throws himself a homecoming party. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. After speeches from famous supporters like Elon Musk, Hulk Hogan, and Rudy Giuliani, the former president fires up the crowd, filling Madison Square Garden in New York City, introduced by his wife, Melania.
New York City and America needs their magic back.
On issue after issue, Kamala broke it, but I will fix it. We're going to fix it.
Vice President Harris at an event in Philadelphia says Trump's economic plans, including tariffs, will cost Americans money.
Donald Trump will impose a 20% Trump national sales tax on everyday basic necessities, which will cost, the economists have measured it, will cost the average family nearly $4,000 a year. On the other hand, I will take on an issue like corporate price gouging.
President Biden plans to vote today.
President Biden will cast his ballot early this morning in his hometown of Wilmington, Delaware, the White House says. A growing number of Americans are taking advantage of early voting, either in person or by mail. Nearly 42 million people have already voted early, according to data from the University of Florida's election lab. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A popular fast food item is back after an E. coli outbreak.
McDonald's says Quarter Pounders will be back on the menu, but will not contain slivered onions from a Taylor Farms facility in Colorado Springs. The produce company is the supplier of fresh onions used by hundreds of restaurants involved in the E. coli outbreak that sickened at least 75 people in 13 states. An analysis by the FDA determined those uncooked onions are likely the source of contamination. McDonald's says testing has ruled out beef patties as the source.
Fox's Kathleen Maloney. North Korean troops have arrived in Russia's Kursk border region to help fight an incursion by Ukraine's military. America's listening to Fox News.
The socialists who want to move into the White House have a lot of plans for your money. One of them is to control the price of food, and this is just the start. Could 401ks and IRAs be next on their agenda? It might sound far-fetched, but so did price fixing just months ago. Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here. If you've spent decades building your nest egg, you can act now to stop your savings from falling into the hands of the socialists. It's why Americans are turning to gold, the ultimate safe haven in uncertain times. To see how easy it is to diversify your retirement with gold, get a free info kit from my friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Birch Gold makes it easy to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait any longer. Protect your financial future now. Text PROTECT to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
A pro-Trump comedian says these people have no sense of humor, responding to criticism of a joke he told at last night's Trump rally in New York, referring to Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage. The Trump campaign says Tony Hinchcliffe's joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or the campaign. Whether it's trying to help or hurt a particular candidate or just generally create confusion, there are lies being told and spread about the election.
State elections officials say even this close to Election Day, facts are being distorted, misleading people on where and when to vote and who can vote. Arizona's Secretary of State Adrian Fontes said on CBS Face the Nation, some people in this country are spreading the lies.
The source for a lot of this information, and misinformation, I should say, is coming from outside of the United States. It gets amplified by folks in America who are helping those folks, and that's just bad.
Fontes said the priority in the days leading to the general election will be securing the process and also ensuring the safety of voters and workers at the polls. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The former president of Bolivia says he survived an assassination attempt.
Evo Morales says unidentified men opened fire on his car in Bolivia's coca leaf-growing region, where residents have blockaded the main east-west highway for the past 2 weeks in a show of defiance. The roadblocks and rallies choking off major cities and disrupting supply lines, raising fears of food and gasoline shortages. It's the latest in a struggle between the ex-leader and his protege-turned-rival, current President Luis Arce. President Arce condemned the attack and requested an investigation. The deputy security minister also is investigating if the attack was staged to help Morales with his political fortunes. Ann Carrick, Fox News.
Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's ruling coalition has lost its majority in parliament. He may need to find a new partner to get votes over the line. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. 36 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Early voting continues across New York today, but a lot of people have already cast their ballots. As a reminder, the early voting period does not wrap up until this Sunday, and that will be your final opportunity to make a vote until Tuesday, November 5th. A woman is expected to make a full recovery after becoming a victim of gun violence in Lafayette. Authorities say she was riding in a vehicle on Apulia Road when she was struck by a bullet yesterday. She ended up being treated for a leg injury at the scene, but no one else was hurt. So far, an arrest has not been made in the case, and anyone who has information is asked to come forward. Oneida County officials are taking action to try and prevent drug overdoses in their communities. A new system called End OD has been launched that provides residents with text messages that focus on overdose prevention. The messages are also going to offer valuable skills and provide support for people who need it. Monetary incentives are now being offered on a first-come, first-served basis to individuals who sign up for the program. Details on how to participate are available at ocgov.net. Halloween is just a few days away, and police all over New York State are keeping an eye out for dangerous drivers. It's part of the yearly Halloween crackdown on impaired and reckless motorists that goes through October 31st. Folks can expect to see increased patrols and sobriety checkpoints, and during last year's initiative, over 32,000 citations were handed out. Data shows Halloween is the deadliest day of the year for pedestrians under the age of 18. As has been the case for weeks now, the price of gas is still on the decline across central New York. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is sitting at $3.22. That's down a penny in the last 7 days and is 5 cents lower than this time 1 month ago. The state average is $3.20 a gallon, while nationally it's $3.13. And fast food chain Chick-fil-A is calling its new entertainment app the ultimate digital playground. The company tokened it as the Chick-fil-A Play, which it says will feature child-focused podcasts, wholesome games, arts and crafts videos, and animated books. The app launches in November and will also stream the Chick-fil-A original series Legends of Evergreen Hills. The series is developed to ground the previous 5 Evergreen short films Chick-fil-A produced in the last few years. Brand strategy director Dustin Britt explained hospitality and fun have always been at the core of the Chick-fil-A family experience, whether inside the restaurant and play areas or through our kids' meals. It is 8:08. Your weather forecast is according to Ray Stajic of the Weather Channel.
Here's the latest forecast from the WIBX Weather Center. Dry start to the week. There is some rain in the forecast, however, as the next front comes in, and then warmer weather by midweek. A lot of clouds, some clear sky this morning, clouds and some sun later today. Should get into the low 50s, pretty close to average, if anything, a little bit below. Some clouds tonight, mid-30s, in the North Country, a little bit colder. Late showers tomorrow, highs low 60s, and a little breezy on Wednesday, but partly sunny and warm, 75. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
36 degrees under cloudy skies. It's 8:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. Well, the Yankees really need a win tonight if they have any chance of defeating the Dodgers. While the Dodgers hope to take a commanding lead over the Yankees in the World Series, LA will visit New York for Game 3 tonight. The Blue Crew leads the Fall Classic 2-0 after winning both games at Dodger Stadium. Manager Dave Roberts says superstar slugger Shohei Ohtani has been cleared to play after suffering a subluxation of his left shoulder during an attempted steal in Game 2. Clark Schmidt will get the start for the Pinstripes, while Walker Buehler will take the mound for the Dodgers. Monday Night Football in Week 8 includes a couple of classic teams as the Giants visit Acrisure Stadium for a battle with Pittsburgh Steelers. The G-Men are hoping to put an end to their 2-game skid after being blown out by the Eagles. Daniel Jones remains the starting quarterback despite getting benched in last week's game. New York is last in the NFC East at 2-5. You'll hear the game right here on WIBX. The Jets dropped their 5th consecutive game after falling to the Patriots 25-22 at Gillette Stadium. The Jets are now tied for last in the AFC East at 2-6. They'll host the Texans for Thursday Night Football on Halloween. The Buffalo Bills keep rolling along after picking up a blowout victory on the road and pushing their winning streak to 3. Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen threw for 283 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bills beat the Seattle Seahawks 31-10 at Lumen Field yesterday. In some local sports, the Herkimer Originals beat Connecticut by a score of 128-122. They will have their next game on November 9th. And the Utica Comets off to a rough start. They're at 0-6, Davey, I believe, is the record. So they'll have some home games this weekend. Hopefully they can.
Friday and Saturday. Andrew.
The season is still young, and hopefully they will be able to bounce back. If you're dealing with pain, there is a way you can possibly bounce back from that pain with Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. This is a technology that's not only sweeping Central New York, but sweeping the sports world, the nation as well, and many medical facilities. The Broncos, Cowboys, Falcons, Saints, Steelers, and Miami Dolphins all utilize this Softwave technology in their locker rooms. Also, the Dodgers using it in their locker room as well. Maybe something that was able to help Ohtani after his injury on Saturday. And Dr. Tim Delmedico and his team are dedicated to helping those in pain, dealing with chronic pain, inflammation, and joint issues with this technology. Dr. Tim Delmedico was one of the first to market this technology in the area, and he is offering it up in several locations across New York State. But right here in Utica, 2709 Genesee Street is where you can go to hopefully get your pain relieved. The Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic also using this technology as well. And Keeler listeners will get a discount on their initial consultation with one of the Softwave Therapy doctors. You'll get your first Softwave Therapy treatment at that consultation, and they'll put you on a treatment and recovery plan that's right for you. If you want to learn more, go to reviveutica.com. That's reviveutica.com. Let the healing begin with Revive Softwave Therapy, 2709 Genesee Street in Utica.
I got to ask, what was this comedian who the Trump rally was last night at Madison Square Garden?
Yes.
Which went very much like Trump rallies. A lot of people waiting out in line. I believe it was sold out. People outside when Trump was coming in. But they had a comedian who opened.
Yeah, and it's just, once again, it was a great response. It was a great
everything
attendance.
Is positive, and there's something.
Of course, now it's just going to be marred by
all the headlines are this comedian
scandal.
Who, here's one of the jokes. There's I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's a floating island of garbage out in the Atlantic. Yeah, it's called Puerto Rico.
Oh, my God.
Bad.
What's
so
the
bad
point?
that first of all, what planet
does he know where
are
he is?
you living on if you don't know that Trump has been making big gains in Florida Hispanics?
Yeah.
And it's all over Puerto Rico and Cuba.
And a lot of the border states.
And the border states as well. So, but specifically Florida is a big deal. And what are you thinking? And of course you're going to get the Harris team and everybody. They're just going to be all over that, which they were, and prominent Hispanics that are supporting Harris all over it, sending it out.
Especially because there's the story of you had great attendance, you packed Madison Square Garden, but now the distraction is this idiot.
And apparently this comedian performs in Austin at Joe Rogan's Comedy Store. That's where he came from. But how you have to know that this is the final week. What planet are you living on? I don't understand
major
why you would think.
And that was just campaign credit.
By the way, that was just one joke. There were several as this thing went on. They denounced it. Several, almost every Republican that made everybody denounced it. But it is a hiccup that in a campaign that is gaining ground right now. The Trump campaign seems to be on the upward slide, not a slide, on the upward trajectory, whereas the slide would be a slight slide from the Harris campaign. So take it for what it is. We'll talk to Tanya Powers on it. She was there, I believe, last night at Madison Square Garden. That's coming up. Lucia, I have a minute before I break. I want to take you quickly. Good morning.
Good morning. Bill, I know what you're talking about, but the comedian trashed the aisle, but I don't think it's him who told him to do that, because Trump, I feel, is for everybody. Okay, it's for the country, not against the country.
Well, I don't think anybody's no one is saying that anybody told him to say any of what he said. He should have known better to not go down that road at a presidential rally. I mean, he's got to be an idiot to not know.
But yeah, the guy should have known better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's what I'm saying.
But anyway, I agree, 1,000 billion%. But the thing is, you did it, so now Trump can speak about it, correct? And what are you going to do? And the guy they came up to say that Puerto Rico is, he's right, he's hurt. But I mean, as long as Kamala is doing all kind of garbage, Kamala is pulling everybody. The woman is being sold, and she'll say anything to get in. She never fixed anything. She ruined everything. Biden ruined everything. He was supposed to be the uniter. He didn't unite anything or anybody. Okay, so now they're all running. Got to make it there, no matter who we kill, no matter what we do. And that's garbage. It's all garbage. It should not ever
Who are they?
Not to their level.
Yep.
Not to their level. It's really, people can get shot and killed. It's not right,
Yes. So you're voting for Kamala Harris. Have you voted for Harris yet? Have you voted yet?
I did vote.
So you voted on Saturday?
Never, ever for the woman. It's the wrong woman.
It's the wrong
woman.
woman.
I would vote for any woman. It's not the right woman.
All right, Lucia. I was not sure which side you were on for a second, but now I know clearly you are definitely with Trump.
Because Trump will fix it. He did it before. It's been proven.
Right.
I would not be with him. Absolutely not. If he didn't do what he did and promised and did it all the way.
I was
now
also.
Who's the other president? Who's the other president who did better than him? I'd like to know.
Yeah,
and they got everything against
there's
Trump.
a few out there.
From
probably
day one that the guy ran, the guy was running to the elevator. They nailed him to the cross from day one. They didn't want him there. He's not a politician. It's wrong. So now somebody. Sorry, I'm talking so fast.
No, I'm following.
We're following along.
Yep.
Somebody great. I sound horrible because sorry about that.
No
but
worries
anyway,
at
so
all.
somebody great is running, right? And there is Joe Griffo. Phenomenal.
Well, I was going to say they were telling the comedian also told a very bad joke about Joe Griffo at Madison Square Garden last night.
Who did?
That comedian did. Oh, Andrew, you said he didn't?
No.
Oh, Andrew was busting my chops. That didn't happen. That did not happen.
And if it happens, the comedian again is an idiot, right?
That he is an idiot.
No.
But you also support Joe Griffo.
1,000 billion%. You know why? Because it's been proven. Look what he has done.
Yep.
So now, in the mail, I got something from the other guy. So I get to see his face. What is the guy going to do? He has no experience, never done a freaking thing, excuse the word.
Mm-hmm.
What is he going to fix or do that Joe cannot do? Joe can do it better 1 billion times than he will.
I got to tell you, you are passionate. I've never heard you use the word freaking. Yeah. And that tells me you are very passionate about this.
It never come to say a word of freaking. Bill, when I was on your show, this time about the lady who was queer, that you told me about the road. I forgot the name of the road. And I kept saying the word, and you said to me, you know what it means? I said, no.
Those were great days, Lucia. Great days.
Yeah,
and I do have to break, and I'm glad you got out there and voted. That's awesome.
Keeler, remember, go vote and vote for Joe Griffo, number one. The other guy can do it in 1 billion years. He's a fine man, I'm sure, but he's not going to be able to do anything like Joe. Never in 1 billion years.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you. Bye.
You have a great day. Thank you. Mike and Skyler. Mike,
we'll
Lucy,
just have to keep going. Lucy had a minute.
Lucy used a lot of your time, so you're going to have only a second.
I'll be real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. I just want to tell you, I just want to share, I have not been bowling good. I keep leaving splits all the time. And, my arm swing here.
You're bowling? This is a professional bowler here. This
I know. Mike's very good.
Yeah.
My arm swing has not been effective. I'm just not making good swing decisions. It's like I'm trying to expand the strike zone and the ball keeps coming up high. I mean, I have people behind me getting strikes and I have to come through for them. So all I can do is just sit there and cheer them on. Wait, who do I sound like? I sound like the captain. The captain.
Aaron Judge.
Oh,
the $360 million captain. I'm just glad, I'm glad he's not the captain of the SS Minnow, because if he was, the boat would have not made it to the island. Gilligan and Skipper would have been lost forever.
Do you know who ripped into Aaron Boone on Friday night? Ripped into him?
Jeter.
Who did
I'd never heard him so animated.
And he criticized Boone too, so he must be fat.
He was
Don't criticize anybody, Mike, because you will be called fat.
He has put on a couple of pounds. There's no doubt about it. All right, Mike. Today, by the way, it's rumored that the new operating system for the computers and for the iPhone will come out, adding the artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
That's today?
Rumor is it might be today. So.
Rumor.
Okay. Fix your bowling game. Good luck. Okay. Thank you. All right. Mike
Something
and
tells me there's nothing wrong with this game.
On the line right now, Tanya J. Powers. And Tanya, good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here she is, the greatest of all greats.
The best.
Tanya J.
Wonderful.
Powers. She was there last night. Were you there last night at Madison Square Garden, or are you just reporting on it?
I was there all day. And
wow! I want to ask.
She seems so excited about it.
I want to ask you what was
my feet are still protesting. That's the thing. That's the reason that I sound less than thrilled right now, because my toes are like, what? Why are we standing up again today? What is happening?
It was a long day. I would ask you, what was the crowd's reaction to the comedian that was telling the Latino jokes?
That's the one question I keep getting today.
Yeah.
I can tell you, if you look at the video, it looks like no one laughed. And that's kind of the reaction that he had, because, it wasn't a super loud guffaw from the crowd. However, sitting in the middle of that crowd, I can tell you there were quite a few people who thought this was funny.
Yeah.
And laughed, and, they were okay with it. There were a lot of folks who also kind of looked around like, oh, this is how we're starting, because he was like one of the first, if not the first speaker,
right,
to get things going. So it definitely kind of set a tone there, that with some people who were like, some of the ones who laughed like out loud, and then they realized other people weren't laughing and kind of like
stopped. Yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, so there was that. But that's what I witnessed sitting in the middle of the crowd. I can tell you that.
And of course, as Andrew said, and this is the problem, you had a huge crowd. Here he is in New York, of all places, in his hometown of New York City. People waiting out in line. I'm sure you were seeing all of that, and a sellout crowd. And the next day, everybody's talking about the comedian that was telling the off-color jokes about Hispanics. That's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, there were other things that really kind of, if not walked up to the line, got over it from other folks as well. That was just the one that was the most blatant.
Yeah.
And unapologetically said. And hey, that's not the only thing he said that people have taken issue with.
Yeah,
they've classified as racist. But yeah, there were other things. But that's just the one that when you spur Bad Bunny to endorse Kamala Harris with his 45 million Instagram followers alone, and you activate the Latino voters by saying something like this at a rally, regardless of the fact that it wasn't Trump that said it. That's especially when this is an electorate, a piece of the electorate that they've been trying to, both sides have been trying to activate.
Well, it's a very important part of the electorate.
Yeah, it is.
Otherwise,
it just takes away from the I think what could have been the bigger story was that talk to me about it, or talk to us about it. How was the crowd at Madison Square Garden last night?
I mean, there was a lot of people. There was an overflow area outside where a lot of folks had kind of just pulled up to the police barricades and were watching the big screen TV that they had out there, like had a lot of big speakers, and that's kind of normal for a Trump rally. We used to see that a lot more with the overflow areas where people were, because the venue was packed or whatever. So yeah, that was when we left last night. There were barricades set up, and lots of folks who had that's the way they were watching it. Inside the venue, it was packed in there. There were probably some seats up toward the top that I could see, maybe like behind the stage. But for the most part, it was pretty full.
I was talking to somebody. I actually talked to somebody who was leaving the city to come back here yesterday, and he said he was leaving from Penn Station or Penn 1, I think it's called now, or whatever it is. And he couldn't believe the amount of apparent Trump supporters there in the city. He had never seen anything like it. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because I asked people, I talked to a whole lot of people as they were going into the rally yesterday for quite a while, and I actually had some to tell me that they were just happy to be able to go to an event where they could proudly wear their Trump paraphernalia, and not be worried that somebody was going to say something to them or give them a look or whatever. And I thought that was kind of interesting that, that was one of the things that kind of brought these people together, not just because they like Trump or they wanted to go to a political rally or think a certain way or have certain, political leanings. It was the fact that they felt like they could, without, retribution of some sort from somebody, they could actually wear their Trump jerseys or their Trump sequined jackets. I mean, I saw it all. I did a piece for today about the fashion. And that was just what I could cram into 40 seconds. There was so much. People are very creative.
They're making up their own. They're making their own stuff.
Out there.
Well, absolutely, and the other part of this is you think of New York City, but New York City is a very large city, and with areas that surround it as well. I know plenty of people that from up here went down there and went to the event. But beyond that, you have Long Island, which is big Trump-supporting territory. So there's certainly plenty of people around there within pretty close distance and proximity to Madison Square Garden. So I am not surprised. And also the uniqueness of this, the fact that there hasn't been this type of rally in New York City makes this a pretty big event.
Oh yeah, it was a very big event. I mean, and the list of speakers that were there. I had people who told me that they came to also hear some of the other folks who were on the list of speakers, and we had some surprises throughout the afternoon and evening with the speakers. So yeah, it was it was indescribable. There were so many. I kept running into people that I knew. Which really surprised me in Madison Square Garden of all places, with 19,000 folks there. But it was quite interesting to cover and to witness, honestly.
All right, very interesting. So that's the thing. There's so much to talk about, and the headline this morning is this one lone comedian who I'm surprised he didn't cut his mic. It got so bad. Maybe they were giving him the light to get off stage, and maybe they didn't want to give it any more publicity than it was already getting. So take it for what it is. It has grabbed some of the thunder, which is a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to be Trump's closing argument, for his campaign. And it definitely has been overshadowed by some of the stuff that the other speakers said. Truly, yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. All right, as always, Tanya, we appreciate it, and rest up those feet today.
You got it. You look at the marathon, not a sprint. Absolutely.
That's right. That is right. All right, thanks so much. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio. We will break. Reminder that you can download the WIBX 950 app and qualify for our Free Fuel Friday. This is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Each day we take two winners. We've already gotten a winner earlier, and who was that, Davey? Earlier this morning, we took
Neil from Westmoreland.
Neil in Westmoreland walks away a winner of a $25 gas card from the Cliffs local market. And he now qualifies to win Friday's drawing of $500 in gasoline. That is so cool. We do two a day and then the drawing on Friday, and we're going to do this well into the month of November. So get ready for Free Fuel Fridays. It all starts today. Download the app. It gives you double the chance to win because you can win off the app. And that app, just search in Google Play or the App Store for WIBX 950. Stand by. We're coming right back at WIBX.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience. Great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Medicare Part D open enrollment is now through December 7th. It can be confusing to compare plan coverages, premiums, and deductibles all on your own. Looking for an easier way? Go to KinneyDrugs.com for a free online tool that helps you compare plans based on your specific prescriptions. Or call 844-653-5063 to compare plans and enroll right over the phone. Ask your Kinney pharmacist or visit KinneyDrugs.com.
Obesity, metabolic syndrome, and fatty liver disease in adults and our children is nothing short of alarming. Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Martin, and I know your life is hectic. It's so hard to find time for ourselves to exercise, eat better, unwind, and just take better care of ourselves, let alone feed our kids with foods better for their health. At livebettercny.com, the disease that is brewing inside you and your children can be stopped. Not another day should go by with you thinking about it, but not doing something about it. Life will always be hectic. Schedules will be full. Let's not make it at the expense of your health. Without your health, you have nothing. Fatty liver disease is no joke, and obesity and diabetes must be stopped. Your cupboards at home need to contain health-promoting and not disease-manufacturing foods. You need metabolic health coaching for yourself and quite possibly for your whole family too. Go to livebettercny.com and schedule a professional metabolic health consultation today.
It's not stopping. The lies and mudslinging just keep coming.
It's time to tune out the negativity.
We're educators who know John Mannion. Trust him.
This guy gets it.
He spent 25 years in the classroom, inspiring students for a generation.
He took that spirit to the state senate.
Fighting for us. Delivering record education funding.
50,000 jobs right here with the Micron Project. Record middle-class tax cuts.
All while protecting our freedoms.
In Congress, he'll lower costs for our families, protect Social Security and Medicare, and stand up to extremists.
So the next time you see some angry ads and grainy video, tune them out.
Take it from real educators. John Mannion will have our back. He always has.
Vote John Mannion by November 5th. Common ground over chaos.
Paid for by NY Common Ground, nycommonground.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. NY Common Ground is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, Frank, looks like business is booming. What are all those tabs you have open on your computer?
Oh, hey. Well, this one is for my SEO company. This one is for my website company. This one is for my CRM. This is for invoicing and estimates. This one does email. And this one does billing.
Geez, that sounds tricky to manage.
It's clunky, but I need all this to run my business. Wait, you run your own business, and you're even busier than I am. Don't you have all this stuff, too?
I do, but I get it all on one screen with the Town Square Business Management Platform.
What's that?
The Town Square Business Management Platform is an all-in-one tool that helps me grow and run my business. It combines website, billing, and scheduling into one program.
That sounds simpler than juggling all the tools I have now, but you still need someone else to help you find new business, right?
Nope. They have powerful digital advertising built into the platform as well, which helps me keep my calendar full. You can get a demo of the product for free. Check out their website. See if it makes sense for your business.
Go to townsquarelocal.com for a free demo of the Town Square Business Management Platform. Visit townsquarelocal.com. That's townsquarelocal.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
This is Governor Kathy Hochul. Katie Aiello is right. Bill Keeler really is the smallest man in the world.
Well, there you go. It's official, apparently. Thank you, Katie, for that. Appreciate it. Here he is, the mayor of the city of Utica, Mike Galimi. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How you doing?
Feeling a little small today. I don't know.
Small man.
I don't know.
Small man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. Staying out of the fray nowadays is pretty tough, huh?
It is not easy, but I'm glad to be a part of it all. I mean, it's just one more day in the life right here. Okay,
well,
go ahead.
It's our way.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting. I am getting something from somewhere.
Your computer.
Yeah, it is. I got it. So it's kids singing.
You're running around.
Apparently not. Okay, Mike. Christmas on Main Street. We've learned that has.
Well, it was canceled and now it's not.
It
What's the real story?
It has been canceled, but now it is not.
Right. First off, the mayor of Utica never has been, or the city of Utica has never been the organizers of this event. So I'll explain exactly what happened starting Thursday morning from the perspective of us so that everyone can understand this in the community. Because here's the thing. Let me say something about Christmas on Main Street. This event has been running for 40 years. It's organized by the organization led by Mark Santa Maria, and they've done a wonderful job with it for all of these years. And they're planning on continuing that starting next year.
They ran out of people this year, though, right? Because of illness or something?
It wasn't just they ran out of people. Mark Santa Maria and the organization was planning on explaining all this to the public.
Okay.
Here's what happened, though. They made the decision last week to do this. And before their organization could talk to the press and make the announcements they wanted to make, one of their volunteers who happens to work for City Hall put it out on our official LinkedIn page and the ORA page, obviously creating all this controversy.
That was Gene. Yeah.
Well, it happened to be Gene. Yes, you mentioned it. So the bottom line is, the Christmas on Main Street organization is not putting the event on this year. And Mark Santa Maria asked me, because I did talk with him both Friday and this morning about this, because we have to figure this out now because it is in the news the way it is, that anyone who has any questions about this, to make sure that you reach out to Mark Santa Maria. You can go to their Facebook page, which is Christmas on Main Street, Utica, New York, not to be confused with the one in Old Forge and the one in Herkimer, et cetera. And they're looking forward to doing this. Now, I will say this. They also organized Christmas at City Hall. That still will be happening this year.
Okay.
Now, because of this and how abrupt it happened, Mark didn't even have a chance to reach out to anyone, the press, myself, and just say, hey, by the way, this is what's going on. So this just kind of got thrown out there. Obviously, the best parallel I could draw is the St. Patrick's Day Parade. This would be like if the St. Patrick's Day Parade was canceled, no one knew about it yet, and it went out on a City of Utica official Facebook presence and LinkedIn presence.
So what is Mayor, what's the organization? Is it literally, that's the name of it, is Christmas on Main Street?
Yeah, that is the name of it. And I believe you go back 30, 40 years ago when this organization was bringing cheer to me as a kid, with the anticipation of Santa. Like, I remember being there when I was like a 9-year-old, right? And in awe. They have 30 vendors. They have hundreds of volunteers. This is a big thing that they had to decide whether they could or could not do because of their own situation this year.
Yeah.
And they are going to do it next year. That's what they told me. So, what we're doing right now, I had a lot of people reach out. The current plan for as far as us, as far as, still hosting and having them utilize City Hall for the Christmas at City Hall, that's still planned to go on. So, this is, a lot of crazy press Thursday and Friday, but we are where we are now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So through all that, am I correct in saying there will not be a Christmas on Main Street this year in Utica?
Also, yes, that organization is not running Christmas on Main Street. Now, I've had multiple people reach out to me and say, hey, can we do something on Main Street? Because it's always happened. And all I'm trying to do is now those people are all calling my office and me personally as mayor to say, hey, can we do this? And that's why I met with Mark and I said, Mark, are you guys still doing this? And he said, yes, our organization's still intact. We just had some issues this year. Have everyone reach out to me. I believe he's going to end up doing something on KTV to also explain this. So right now that's just the status.
Okay.
What's going on. And if we do something, here's the thing, right? If we do something fun and festive on Main Street this year, we're not going to pull together 30 vendors and have 4,000 people down there like Christmas on Main Street does. And also the other thing I wanted to make sure, because of how this all happened, I wanted to make sure that the organization that's always brought this to Utica could maintain that presence.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so I spoke with Mark this morning and got all that straight with him just so I could make sure that we're all right. So
okay.
Christmas in Utica is still happening. It's all good. But no, in all seriousness.
But not this year. But not this year.
Well, and he still plans on doing Christmas at City Hall with his organization. Right. And what I talked with Mark is I said maybe we can do make sure that event and that the actors that are coming out to volunteer through my office, maybe we can just make that a little bigger this year.
Okay.
And then next year everything can go back to normal.
All right, fair enough.
That's the current status of what's going on.
Okay. Just these things happen, right? Stuff happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
thanks for the clarification.
You never know how.
So what else is going on? You guys have any other questions for me? Since I'm on the radio driving to pick up my son to go to a doctor appointment, I'm good.
You never know how important an event is until it's canceled. Okay.
Yes.
Is there? I don't know how this whole Katie Aiello thing has turned into a woe is me. Why is everybody picking on me? That seems to be her MO, I'm afraid. But the reality is this all began with deception on her part. I mean, there's just no doubt in anybody's mind. The primary residence is in Herkimer because it has to be, or her kids couldn't go to school there. So that is, and the DA's office and investigators have confirmed that. However, are Republicans ready to move forward? Do they believe she should be removed from office, prevented from running again, prevented from allowing this to happen unless there is a primary residence, or what is your take on this?
So right now, I'm not going to speak for all the council people because I am the administration, right? And this is the Common Council. I'm no longer the Common Council president.
Understood.
Right? But I will say this. Yes, there are council people that put together a resolution in accordance with Robert's rules and how things could work to potentially do an investigatory hearing at the council level. I believe that's what they were trying to move at the last meeting, but it did not happen. Whether there's support for that, I'm not sure. Now, I do know, because this is, like you said, this is not the first time this came up.
No.
This came up a couple years ago when people were trying to figure out if she lived on Plant Street. And then the conversation moved to Cottage Place. And then, so as council president, a lot of different just people have come to me, called me, seen me in person, gone to council meetings, emailed me as council president, as well as council people over the years with this question. And it's always been a very, I guess, shifty situation. I had a constituent come to me and say, listen, I knocked on every door on Plant Street. We can't find this person. Everyone says they don't live there. And, my stance as council president was, let's look into this. That's why as council president, at the request of council people and citizens, myself and one of the other council people originally asked the DA's office about this and did foil it last year.
Right.
But nothing was turned over. I believe not because of any issue. The case was not in a situation where they could release it. It came up again this year. Obviously, we got that information and presented that to the council from the administration side and to make sure that they had the information they requested. And now we are where we are. There's question on how someone might be, quote, replaced in a vacancy type of process. As council president, I had to talk with NICOM about that.
There really is. This isn't being made up here on the radio. between us and Samantha Colosimo Testa. There really is talk going on about whether or not this is legal and appropriate based on the charter and based on election law in New York State.
So, correct. And you now have a council person who in multiple different situations has now claimed dual residency. And, we have to make sure government acts appropriately. We have a Department of Legislation, and we have a Common Council, right?
Yep.
And then we have the administration, which is my office and the entire administration. There is a separation of powers. What we are looking at is, will the council actually either conduct a hearing and at least in official capacity ask these questions on the floor, which would be well within their ability and, completely within the bounds of what the council could do. And I know that from 8 years of experience as council president. And if that is to happen, then, and those hearings would conclude, then the next steps could be taken. And that's advisement from different opinions coming from Corporation Counsel over the years. That is the advisement of NICOM. New York Conference of Mayors also suggested that this go to the Supreme Court. That's another way to handle it. But the reality is this, Bill. As a mayor, I'm extremely frustrated with this for one big reason. Okay? We just submitted the next round of DRI. Okay? We are, going to be looking to open the ice skating rink back up. We just announced a whole nother, development conclusion process on Hotel Street. We just submitted for another Restore New York grant. We are doing so many extremely positive things in this community right now. And what's in the news?
Yeah.
What's in the news?
This is grabbing the headlines. Yep. It's
Well,
kind of
and
like.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Should we be dealing with this? Absolutely, because it's ridiculous that this is going on. Okay?
And that is the part for me. This is the part where she's done a really good job of turning it back on members of the council, Joe Beatrice and Samantha Colosimo.
And
throwing it
horrible.
back and saying, I'm obsessed with her and all these things that she said. The reality is this is a valid topic. And people lose their position in office throughout the state, rarely, but it does happen because of residency. Yeah. This is a real issue.
And here's the other thing, Bill. Okay, this whole situation now is being turned into, not by you, of course, by some actors, is, don't you guys have better things to worry about?
Correct. That's my point.
This issue?
That's my point.
But here's the problem. To what point are there better things to worry about? Because right now, this is drowning out real business of the city.
Right.
And this is also real business of the city. So I say, yes, this does have to be one of the priorities, because it's absolutely insane that this is going on. And for the council person to say that I'm going after her because of her ARPA audit, which was not an audit, by the way. That was just a bunch of random questions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We actually did have an update to give them. But here's the thing. All of a sudden, I'm the one going after her, but last year it was somebody else. There's only one common denominator over the last 3 years, Bill.
That is true.
One common denominator.
Yes.
And the common denominator is what people should be concerned with.
No,
not the next people in line who have to be dealing with this absolute chaotic clown show that has been created.
No.
I think that's fair. I well put.
Mike, I have a similar question to Lance and Lee in regard to the specific charter in Utica. It is somewhat vague, at least for the city charter, because it doesn't say primary residence. It lacks literally one word and says residence. Have to reside or have some residence in Utica. Is this something that you would look to change, or how would that change?
So first off, this is public officers law. Okay.
Right, beyond
the charter.
Yes.
Charter.
Okay. Then, because that's the other thing. You've got election law, which is how you get elected, and then you have public officers law once you're elected. Okay. The charter does say residence, but the charter is also referencing things such as, okay, whether you live in the city throughout your term, etc. Because that's a lot of people are like, oh, this is okay because after the second in the second half of your term, you can move out. Okay, but that has nothing to do with public officers law and how vacancies are created.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
All right.
And that's the reality of it.
And you have reached your final destination.
I'm almost there.
You're
almost there.
All right. Well, listen, we appreciate the update. I completely agree with you. This rhetoric that you have, are there more important things to talk about? Why are you so obsessed with this?
This is real important.
It is important, and it's what many people say when they've done something wrong. Why are you focusing on me? There are other things to worry about. Well, it just so happens that yours is big enough to be focused on, and there is no obsession. Nobody's obsessed with her. No one is. There is no. What does President Trump call it? The witch. There's no witch hunt here.
Right.
I find that she's.
Bill, I've got a question for you.
She's using Trump's MO to defend herself here. I find that interesting.
I have a little 800 square foot camp in Hamilton County.
Yes.
Okay, in Inlet. That is a camp I pay taxes on. I own. I go there in the summer. Okay. Now, if I started getting my mail there and registered my pistol permit to that address and made that the address to which I did, like, actual...
Yes, all of your business.
Like, I live there. Now, wouldn't people be questioning whether I should be mayor or not?
There's no doubt you would be challenged.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
And she would be a part of that, by the way. I can guarantee it.
And why is the resident of the...
She is questioning her former opponent's resident. So she's basically essentially taking the accusations being lobbed against her and lobbing them against somebody who formerly ran against her.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, so...
Well,
so
you
I guess
can't... That's a fair...
That horse has been beat.
Yep.
And I guess we'll see how it unfolds, right?
Okay. All right. Safe travels on the way after school, but thank you for the time this morning.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Mayor Mike Galimi, and I think he makes a very, very valid point, right? Don't say, there are more important things to worry about. Why are you obsessed with me? I mean, that's ridiculous. That's what people say when they've done something wrong, right?
Honestly, to be honest, I don't give her a thought outside of the purview of this program when we're talking about it.
Mike says, I think you misread Katie's post. She didn't say you were small, although she did say you're the smallest person on the planet. Mm-hmm. She probably meant you were small-minded.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't that make you feel better? I don't know. Governor? I missed her.
Hello.
I think she's here. Governor, are you there? Please.
This is Governor Kathy Hochul. My apologies.
Okay.
Katie Aiello is right. Bill Keeler really is the smallest man in the world, which means his mind is also really small.
Okay, all right. Well, that is...
Well, in that case...
Mike, you were right. You were right, and according to the governor, I should be very concerned. Wow. Let me say you have an opportunity to win gasoline from us.
Yeah,
and
this is an awesome prize.
Why are you wasting time on Katie Aiello when you can be talking about free gas?
Everybody loves this.
This is awesome. And all you have to do is download the WIBX 950 app, and you double your chances. Every morning, we'll select one qualifier who is also a winner. That qualifier will receive a $25 gas card from Cliff's Local Market. Very exciting. They then get in the running for Friday's drawing, and each week we're selecting a $500 gas winner. Pretty cool. Every week, another $500 gas winner.
You can't really think of a better prize, honestly.
Love it. So get ready. Tomorrow, we'll give you another chance to win a $25 gift card and get in the running. A 1 in 8 chance, by the way, of winning the $500 gift card. And if you listen throughout the day today, there'll be an opportunity on the app. All you have to do is download the app, and there'll be that opportunity for you to walk away a winner. It's from Cliff's Local Market and WIBX. It's called Free Fuel Fridays, and I'm pretty excited about it. I want to tell you about Randall's Pharmacy in New Hartford. They are open and ready. It's really the time now where you should get your, follow what your doctor says, but you should get your flu and possibly your COVID vaccine, or any of the vaccines you might need. No appointment is necessary. You can walk right into Randall's and they'll get it done for you. Most times this is covered by insurance. Randall's is also offering a special service where they will come to your workplace. And a lot of employers like to do this and offer vaccines for their employees all in one day, one session, if you will, because it helps prevent people from being sick all at the same time, or a super spreader event.
Yeah, that can really kill productivity.
Could be flu, could be COVID, whatever it is. You really help yourself avoiding that from occurring. Call them. There is simply a phone call. They'll set it up for you. 315-732-1615 at Randall's Pharmacy in New Hartford. Vaccinations, flu, and COVID at the workplace. Any vaccination without an appointment right there at Randall's. And the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck is serving up not just the most amazing coffee and donuts, bagels and breakfast sandwiches, but soup. Hot soups as we go through the cooler weather. Available every day. A wonderful recipe. Homemade soups at Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. All right, gotta go. We have news coming up top of the hour.
There's no room for sofas. There's no room for recliners. There's no room for bedrooms. There's no room for mattresses. There's no room in the showroom. And my Carl's truckloads of new furniture are on their way, and I must make room now. So I ordered a massive floor sample clearance. Sofas $299, recliners $249, dinettes $199, bedrooms $499, mattresses $99. It's first come, first save, and once it's gone for good. During the floor sample clearance on now, my Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse.
Our nation is at a crossroads. In Albany, John Mannion and Kathy Hochul support radical policies like cashless bail, which releases violent criminals back into our communities. Worse, John Mannion and Kathy Hochul support defunding the police, taking officers and equipment off of the streets when we need them the most. Now, Mannion's running for Congress, threatening to take Hochul's terrible ideas to Washington, D.C. There's a better choice. Navy veteran Brandon Williams. A former nuclear submarine officer, Brandon Williams has a new mission, defending Central New York from the Hochul-Mannion agenda. Unlike John Mannion, Brandon Williams knows how to keep our families safe. In Congress, he's secured millions for local law enforcement, giving cops the tools they need to keep violent criminals behind bars. On or before November 5th, vote for Navy veteran Brandon Williams for Congress.
I'm Brandon Williams, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Brandon for NY 22.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, Ricky Z invites you to come on in and check out their new Mazdas. Mazda's been winning races and building award-winning vehicles for over 100 years. And right now at Steepani Mazda, drive a new 2024 Mazda CX-30 SE for only $269 a month on a 36-month lease. Or save with 0% or 0.9% APR financing. As Rick says, come on in, let's make a new deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steepani Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And if you're looking for a great lunch today, think Tony's Pizzeria in Washington Mills. They have an Italian buffet that's enormous and wonderful. Everything from pork tenderloin, Virginia ham, pastas, chicken cacciatore, salads, soups, and homemade desserts. It's $15.95 a person, $9.99 for kids 5 to 10, and under 5 are free. It's Tony's Pizzeria in Washington Mills.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
MAGA in Manhattan. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Former President Trump held a campaign rally in his hometown, New York City, packing the venue nicknamed the world's most famous arena.
Welcome to the stage by Elon Musk, former First Lady Melania Trump, and a live performance by country star Lee Greenwood. Former President Trump took the stage before a full house at Madison Square Garden on Sunday night. He was greeted with thunderous applause and cheering, then reminded his supporters to get out and vote on Election Day, promising that a second Trump term would be, quote, America's new golden age.
We're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired.
Former President Trump is kicking off the final full week before Election Day with a rally this evening in Georgia. At Madison Square Garden, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Vice President Harris campaigns in Michigan today, in Philadelphia for some events yesterday.
Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win. We will win.
At least 42 million early votes have been cast